I tell you, we're here. Hey everybody, this is Mark D'Antoni with SkyTour LiveStream. Welcome. This is August 9th, 2020, and tonight, of course, as you probably have guessed, I have the royal pain in the butt with me tonight.
Oh, that was the best intro
Keith,
in years.
You guys missed it because
we had the best audience ever.
We had the best audience ever because no one was paying any attention because I thought we were live and I was talking to you and having a ball, bringing up the music, and it didn't even phase you because you never even heard it. You were just waiting for the stream to start. I'm sorry. That's my mistake.
That was great.
Okay, yeah, we had to get that was funny.
It was great because we're sitting here talking like, we're professionals, and I'm like, why isn't it streamed? Why isn't anybody chatting in the chat?
Well,
and I'm like, it's online. And then Mark throws it up, and it still says it's still not live yet.
That's right. Yeah, Greggy Gilligan. The universe is calling you. Yeah, that's right. That song was written by Rebecca Renfro, who is a Florida native and who, with her husband Dan, very good friends. And Rebecca allowed us to use that song for the SkyTour Radio theme, and we're forever grateful to her for that. She is an amazing person. So if you get a chance, check out The Universe is Calling You, and you haven't even heard the whole song. I mean, the whole song is really beautiful. I could probably play it here without any problems because I do have her permission.
Maybe you should go down and welcome all the people here since you did that already.
Oh, yeah, we were off the air. Before I started the stream, I went through this whole list and welcomed all of you and said hi to all of you.
It's not joking. Like 10 minutes.
That's right. We were talking to each other, and you guys were wondering, like, what the heck's going on? My mistake, yeah. So I wanted to say again. Okay,
sorry.
It's all right. I want to say hi to Alex Bronze and David Byrne. They were here before, and actually, Alex was the first in. Well done, sir. Well done. And I want to say hi to Andy Morrow and Dagger Spells and you, P&K. That's you, Keith. You know that.
That's me.
Right? And then Ert Radio with Ronald is here. That's great to see you. Tara D, she's an amazing artist down in Arizona and a good friend. And Bobby Burgess is here. Hey, Bobby. And Cypher 2 and Pete Bodds, And so we had a lot of fun with a lot of you people before, and we're going to continue to have fun with you. Kathy Pernasek is here. How you doing, Kathy?
Wait, hi to everybody that's saying hi to me in the chat. I'm just still kind of laughing off mic about this whole thing.
It is. Tim F is here too. Greggy Gilligan, it's nice to see you too. And I just want to say, hey, Keisha Fowler, how you doing? And GLaDOS is here. And it's nice to talk with all of you folks, or at you. I mean, if you have any questions, you can certainly type them in the chat. But you can bet that, Keith, of course, being part of this, of course, he's the number one pain in the butt, right? He's always.
Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah, and so we had. It was really funny. Before when I thought we were live, and I'm going through all this stuff and everything, and you're just waiting for the stream to start.
So professional. It's like, hello everybody, welcome to the SkyTour live stream, and hello to all these people in the chat, and all this, and Keith, how you doing? And we're having a conversation, and like we're like entertaining ourselves.
Yeah, and that's all we were doing was entertaining ourselves, which is really terrible. But that was all my fault. Daisy and Zoe, hi guys, how are you? Really nice to see you. And Lane, hey Lane, how are you? Let's wave at Lane. Say hi to Lane. Come on, say hi to Lane. Come on.
Wait, we have to go back and do our complete George Takei impressions again? Oh man.
No, we'll leave that off. Okay, we'll leave that off.
It's lost forever now.
Yeah, it's lost forever. They were fantastic though. We did a great job.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah, and let's see. Who's here? Oh, and Rochelle. Is it pronounced Rochelle or Rachel? I mean, usually Rachel is R-A-E and Rochelle is R-A-C-H-E-L. I mean, let me know.
Last night because I did the same thing with Keisha last night. I was asking if her name was Keshia or Keisha, and he said it's Keisha. Well, I didn't know for sure. I wanted to make sure I wanted to get it right. So please let us know if we're pronouncing your names wrong.
Yeah, no, because we're the first ones to tell you that if we don't get it right, we'll be happy to make the correction for you.
Yes.
Yeah, because you guys are worth making corrections for. So, so tonight we have Jupiter in here right now, as you can see, and Yep, this is the Jupes, yes, sir. And let me just to give you an idea where all the moons are. Okay, you can see the moons here, and you see 4 moons. That is not a moon, that's a star. All right, and if we bring up our planetarium,
Astronomers call them Galilean moons.
the Galilean moons, that is correct, because Galileo studied their motion and he noticed that they were actually moving in a orbital pattern around the big white one in the middle.
Galileo was a smart guy, wasn't he?
Galileo was a risk taker, but as such, a very smart guy. That's right, very smart guy. Yeah,
Thought so. Yeah.
So
back burning people for knowing science.
Oh gosh, yeah, the heretics were not treated very well in those days.
Wasn't it because they were going against the church or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. They were going against the church. They were going against the teachings, the held belief at the time. And that really stunk, really stunk. So in our view here on the left side, just so you can see, this is Ganymede here. This is Io right here. And we have 2 more moons over there. And I just wanted to show you how I know that. It's because when we zoom in here on Jupiter, the face of Jupiter looks like it does on our view. Okay, they take care of that too in the planetarium program, which by the way is free. It's called Stellarium. Go get it.
Oh, that's so much better. Wow. Okay.
What's that?
Sorry, I just popped out the chat on YouTube and put it over here on the Skype screen, and now I find myself not looking at the YouTube. So that's awesome.
Very good.
But listen, I have dark mode on YouTube, so why is my chat not in dark mode? I'll fix it. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah, no worries. You just have to,
I'll get it.
You will get it. Okay, so then if you look on the left here, you see these 2 more moons right here and here. This is Europa, and this is Callisto over here. So we actually have these gorgeous moons, Callisto and Europa, and then we have Io over here, and then Ganymede. So there they are, the 4 of them right there. Okay.
Oh, what the crap.
Huh?
Oh, yeah, it did. Okay, cool. I popped out the chat, and it stayed white instead of dark mode, but all of a sudden it just changed.
You just told me that.
Yes. Well, see, the dark mode was fine, but the pop out chat wasn't.
Okay.
And then after like 5 seconds, all of a sudden it dropped into black. So now we're good.
How many cups of coffee you want tonight, by the way?
4.
4.
Some Starburst.
Oh, and some. Oh boy, watch out for Keith with Starburst, guys. This guy, when he gets Starburst in him, it's like he's all over the place. It's like sugar high, boom, and off he goes. Then when he crashes, he just starts talking really slow, and he just slows right down.
Well, first time people actually hearing me on here, I am known to interrupt Mark constantly, but it's for a good cause. It's either for comedic relief or because I'm bored. one of those two.
One of those 2 things.
Don't worry, we'll keep this show moving.
We do. A lot. I get a lot of good comments when you're on because people really enjoy your exchange with me. I'm kind of like a straight man almost, but I do have that insightful little element that I throw in there and zap you with, and you don't get it, you see, and you just you roll right over it, and that's the funny part.
What a jerk.
Well, you got that. Yeah. So,
right.
No, for those that don't know, we're going red now, so we're in our red mode now. For those that don't know, Keith and Paul, the pair, the happy trio -1, that created P&K Space Imaging, they are responsible for me streaming. I didn't know whether I wanted to stream or not, but I ended up doing so. Thanks to them. So, what you see here is all due to them.
Wash me with your love, because I'm responsible for you being here right now, people.
I can tell you, that's not untrue. It's not untrue. Not untrue.
I'm pretty sure everybody knows the story by now, but it's good. Mark's on. We're learning about jupes.
Yeah. Ronald's asking, are the cloud bands and the moons connected? They're always the same angle.
Ronald.
Ronald, to answer that question, first of all, keep in mind that those moons and Jupiter are not connected in any way. Now, what we can't see is a very faint ring that's in here, that goes in here. But the other thing you have to understand is that this is the plane, Plane, of the orbital plane of these moons around Jupiter. And it's roughly the same as the orbital plane of the solar system. So when we look at Jupiter, we see that the cloud bands will also be that way because the planet's rotating. And as the planet rotates, the bands are going to be horizontal around the middle and around the sides, with the poles, of course, being minimally stretched out. So you'll have large, expansive horizontal cloud bands in that horizontal plane of rotation. And thus, the planet's going around this way, and that is where it formed from the original solar nebula when it formed. And thus, the planets with the moons around it, those moons also coalesced out of that same solar nebula, so they're also moving in the same plane as the spinning rotation angle of the planet. So that's why they're in the same plane.
Oh, by the way, there's another question before Ronald bogarted it with his caps lock button.
Oh, what was it?
By GLaDOS.
GLaDOS,
down.
Okay.
Ain't too far up. Yeah, it was like right above Ronald's, about 5. There you go.
Question.
You have a question.
Have you discovered a star or planet? Well, no, I haven't discovered a star or planet. Stars are pretty well known. The truth is that, you can always go buy a star, right? Well, guess what? It's not recognized by anybody in any of the astronomical community. So,
what?
Yeah, I know. You buy a star, it's worthless.
I own like 5 of them things.
Somebody saw you coming, man.
Maybe.
Yeah, no, it's
$5. And I was like, okay.
The International Astronomical Union, the IAU, determines the names of the stars. And when someone says they want to buy a star, well, that's just a company who's making money on billions of stars, or as Carl Sagan would say, the billions of stars in our universe.
This guy was completely legit. He's the same dude that sold me my muffler bearings.
Okay.
Totally legit. You mean to tell me that what I named my 5 stars doesn't count anywhere else in the world besides in my own brain?
That is exactly right.
Back to the drawing board, I guess.
So now to finish your question here, the stars and planets out there. To find another planet, we would really need to be able to examine what's called the Kuiper Belt. When we look out into the universe, into our solar system, even, we have planets all the way out to Pluto that yes, Pluto's a planet. Don't give me any garbage about that. It's a planet as far as I'm concerned. I've told some of you this before. I sat with Pluto's founder, the man who found Pluto, Clyde Tombaugh.
Make Pluto great again.
Make Pluto great again. That's right. MPGA. And that's a hat I would wear.
Dude, it should be grandfathered in. Like, yeah, we messed up. We called it a planet. It's not really by definition. But it should be grandfathered in before we came up with all that crap.
That's right. That's correct. That's right.
It's one exception in the universe. So sue us.
Yeah. That's all it is, All we can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Dude, you're asking, did I change my blinker fluid? What am I forgetting? Blinker fluid?
Yeah. Probably the same guy that sold me the muffler bearing.
Well, he's asking me, and you're the guy that was talking about the muffler bearing and they buying the star. Now here's a question I got. Yay, Pluto, thank you. Here's a question I got for you.
For me?
Yeah, for you. This is a question just for you. And I just forgot it. It was a good one. I
mean, I can see it now. It was probably amazing.
Yeah, it was. It was a good question. It really was. And don't you forget it. No, it was. Oh man, I hate when that happens.
It happens when I come on, folks.
No, it's not you. It's the fact that I'm doing like 7 things at once in here. And what I'm gonna do now, actually.
Science calls that multitasking.
I know, it does. I'm gonna reduce this though, so we can actually get a photo and check out der Cloudenbanden.
Got a good time.
This is a 1/10 of a second. And there's Jupiter with its cloud bands. Let's see here. Let me just kind of isolate.
Exactly, Kathy. Exactly.
That's correct. There were 9. Yeah.
What was it? My very educated mother just served us 9 pizzas? Is that what it was?
Yeah, very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
I'm
That's right. That's like King Philip came over for good spaghetti. What's that?
That is, let's see, King Philip. Oh, that is Comfurfnick.
All right, you guys in the chat, that's for you. What
Would
is
that
that?
be light bands, maybe?
No, what is that? What is that metaphor for? When you were taught that King Philip came over for good spaghetti. Who knows that in the chat? Let me
Wasn't
hear
that
it.
the guy who was shot in the head?
No,
King Philip?
no, that has nothing to do with this. If he was, I don't know.
Oh.
And you know, Tana says sorry about your 5 stars, but man, Tana, they saw him coming.
Yeah. Well, you know what? D'Artagnan will just have to shine bright another day.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
My D'Artagnan star, which is probably Jupiter, because it was one of the brightest. I call it D'Artagnan. They call it Vega.
Yeah, and that's like a car that's named a Chevy Nova. Remember? Oh wow, an astronomical name. But in Spanish, Nova means no go.
Yeah.
That's not a good name for a car.
Especially in the 80s. They went to front-wheel drive Novas. Holy boy.
Yeah, yeah.
Or no-go. 4-cylinder Novas? What?
Yeah, they're already underpowered.
Yeah.
All right, let's see here if we can actually do something here to alter this guy and give him a little bit more.
So when you're just, you don't have any kind of filters on or anything, right? So it's just looking.
Oh no, this is not white light. This is actually we have 5 filters in our filter wheel, and what does that mean? I'll show you in a second. And what we're gonna do is we'll be able to there we go. We're gonna do that for now. We'll probably change this after. But get a little bit better shot there. It's a very humid night. Okay, so we do have a little issue there, but I can show you, for instance, if we jump back here. Okay, this is our main view.
I just figured out Juventude is Octurus. So I guess I'll stay with the science names instead of my own. Goodbye, Juventude.
Juventude?
Yeah.
Where?
That's what I named my star, but it turned out to be Octurus.
Oh.
Well, I guess I'll stick with Octurus.
Did you really think they were going to give you one of the brighter stars in the sky?
Well, they told me to pick any and just give him $25.
Well, why didn't you pick Sirius then?
Come to think about it, he was powdering his nose an awful lot. Anyway,
Okay. Yeah.
he did give me a piece of paper that had, names on it.
Yeah.
So, and I believe a pager number? Whatever.
Yeah. Actually, Kathy, new in Spanish is Nuevo.
Look,
so
Fantasy Ecstasy
Nova's-
knows exactly the name I'm talking about. Juventude. Good job, Fantasy.
Juventude.
Hope everything's going well in the medical field, by the way.
Juventude Guerrero?
Yeah, Juventude. That's where I got that name from. He used to be an old Mexican wrestler. Juventude
Wow.
Guerrero.
Oh, well, you would know that because you're into the whole wrestling thing.
No, I used to be. I ended my relationship with WWE in January.
Since when? What the heck?
It got to be too much. With the whole coronavirus thing, and then they started some weird thing, so I stopped my contract with them. And but yeah, I can always go back if I want to.
Okay.
It's a good deal.
At least the door's open for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. For those of you that are new to SkyTour LiveStream, I thought I'd just run you through real quick what you're looking at on the screen. This side here, this is our telescope control system. We're linked to the telescope via this interface. This is the north, south, east, west directional system to move this scope around. If I can say go east, okay, we'll move Jupiter a little bit to the east. And we say west, and now the telescope moves toward the west, which makes Jupiter, of course, go the other way, see? And we have the south and north. And then down here, these numbers are a control panel that gets into the telescope computer so I can actually make changes on the fly. And I get pretty good at memorizing some of the paths I have to go. And then down below, this is a focus section. This section here allows us to focus the telescope remotely. So instead of turning a knob, like I used to have to do way in the beginning years ago, now I just can hit these different levels of arrow. This is maximal change of focus. This is 4, and this is minimal, the single. Then down below that is what we were talking about just a minute ago. This is the filter wheel section. Now you see how Jupiter looks kind of purple here, right? That's because we're viewing Jupiter through what we call a narrowband filter, but it's a slightly wider narrowband filter. So the spectrum of Jupiter, okay, if you had this whole spectrum of Jupiter, all right, then the narrowband, that's good, it's all blinking out. The narrowband filter only looks at little tiny slots within the spectrum to give you a view of special frequencies and locations. This filter is a little bit wider at each of those slots, okay? One that's more narrow is this one here. This is the first one, and now look at how Jupiter looks. It's very dark. Well, that's because we're only letting through a very, very specific amount of light, and it's a very, very narrow bandpass in these 3 separate locations that we're actually looking at in Jupiter's spectrum. This filter is not used so much for planets, okay? This one helps us with some of the detail. This next one is a spectral filter, so we can actually see the spectrum of Jupiter. If we were to examine this up close, we would end up seeing the sun's spectrum in here, and we would...
Unicorns live.
Huh? What'd you say?
I said that's where unicorns live.
Exactly so.
Spectral band.
Yeah, they live at the top of the rainbow. And so, in this spectrum, we actually have a name for it. It was a spectrum first noticed and first found by Fraunhofer. The Fraunhofer spectrum is the reflected light that we'll see in Jupiter, coming from Jupiter, because Jupiter's not giving off light of its own. What it does, however, is it absorbs a little of the sun's light in its atmosphere. And when it does that, it actually puts extra signatures into this spectrum. And if we look at Jupiter's spectrum, which should be the sun's spectrum, but it's going to be missing some things, and then look just at the sun's spectrum and subtract the two, what's left is what is in Jupiter's atmosphere. And we can actually identify the compounds in Jupiter's atmosphere. And that's exactly the kind of thing we're going to be able to do here at SkyTour East once this telescope that we're using tonight goes out to Arizona. And I just have to announce that my trip to Arizona looks like it's getting put off one more time because of the COVID problem. And so it's going to be the middle of September or so, or later September, before I actually get to go now. But it's okay. I can get work done out there from here that needs to get done. Hello, Amal.
This load here is coming at you thanks to Frankenhofer.
Fraunhofer.
Same difference.
Okay.
Thanks, Frank.
Well, now we're going to go to the next filter, number 4, and you'll notice you can't see a thing. That's because it's just a black disc that basically blocks the light entering the camera. This is so we can actually do what we need to do what we call dark frames when we're taking lots and lots of photos to then stack like pages in a book and get better resolution, better look. This is
what
5.
We call the lens cap nebula.
No, this is filter 5. This is no filter. This is an open hole. So basically, if we were to go into like a focus mode here, let me bring Jupiter down here and then go east a little bit. Okay, now when I bring this in here, you'll see Jupiter, and it should be right there. It's not right there. I'll move it right now. I'll get it back. So Jupiter's going to come in here in a second. Okay, so now this is Jupiter in its more natural light. It's not focused yet because when you change filters, you always have to refocus, and it's critical. You always have to do it, and so I'm going to go and refocus now as we speak. You'll notice that Jupiter, and I'm pressing this arrow button over here. You can see over here on the left, okay, and you can see Jupiter's out of focus. So I'm going to go up to the other one, okay, and press that one, and you'll see that it'll get sharper.
Yeah, can somebody go over there and take Ron's caps lock button?
You gonna tape it?
We're just gonna take it off.
Well, he's asking questions, and he knows that that's, to ask questions, we ask people to put it in caps so we can see them.
Oh, do you? Oh, that's your thing?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My bad.
He's just doing what he's been asked.
Just looks like he's screaming questions at you.
I know it looks that way, but again, so much so for everybody else.
Yeah,
all right, this will be.
I don't know how your daily routine goes, but now that I know, I will not shout at anybody for caps.
All right. So let's see if a 15th of a second will show us anything here. So let's just bring Jupiter up into the view here. Here it comes. Zoom. There we are. Okay, so we can see that Jupiter, you can see the cloud bands, but without a filter, it tends to get a little bit washed out. Maybe I could have, taken a different exposure, a little bit less time. Let's try that. So what I'll do is I will set this to a shorter time, and Jupiter will be slightly dimmer and more detailed. It's 25th of a second at 50 ISO. That's the sensitivity of the camera. This is the camera section. You saw the telescope control section, which is right here. All right. That's telescope control. That's me. Hello. In the operations, I'm inside another building, running the telescope remotely, and we'll be doing that from here. I'm in Connecticut. We'll be doing that from here out to Arizona for a period of time as well. And then this is the camera control section over here. So this is the exposure control. Right now it's set at 1/25, 1/25th of a second. And this is the speed that we're using, 50. Most cameras go up to about 6400 ISO or even up to 8000. That's been like common knowledge. But now the cameras go even higher. This particular camera is the highest of them all. It goes to 409,000 ISO. But coming with that is, of course, noise. And I'll give you an example. If we say, I can just go backwards by one. So we go back and skip past auto and go right to the maximum. This is 409,000. Now you can see the moons again, right? All right, but if I do like a 20th of a second here on Jupiter right now, okay, at the fastest speed the camera can go, look what you're gonna get. Whoa, Nelly. Okay.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Now what you're seeing actually is you're seeing a lot of noise because that is what comes with a camera that has ultra high sensitivity. All right. So now we can see all the moons, and we can see probably additional ones. We see additional stars that we didn't see before. Okay. But unfortunately, it's got a lot of noise. So if you're looking for detail, going really, really high up the ladder in the exposure category, in the ISO category, the sensitivity category, not a good idea. Okay. So
hey, Mark, I'll be right back. I'm going to let this cat out because it's staring at me, and I think he wants to fight.
Okay.
Take me a sec.
So yeah, so that's that, and so Jupiter is not really that good right now because of this lack of a good filter. So we're actually looking at it right now with again, white light. So here's a 40th of a second. Let's zoom in and see what it looks like. Yeah, you can see the bands a little bit, and it's sort of a kind of a murky night, so we're not able to see it as good as we could possibly see it. So we'll just deal with it for now, and you can see some detail in the bands. And we can also do some processing on these as well, I also want to say hello to Davey Dreamer. How you doing, Davey? I think I said hi to Amal. Good to see you. And Ronald asked a question earlier. Is there a star out there as brighter than the area? As brighter than Jupiter? Oh. Yeah, there's a star out there, but not tonight. The star that's brighter than Jupiter, of course, is the planet. Is the star Sirius. It's brighter than the planet Jupiter. So yeah, but it's not something that we can see right now. That's a winter constellation star. It's the brightest star in the entire sky, actually. So let's go back to this guy, and let's bring up and go back to filter wheel number 2. So to do that, we have to go past filter wheel number 1, where we are now, and we're going to click here, and you'll see a 2 right here. Now we're in filter number 2. I got to show you something tonight too. When we take pictures of some of these nebulae, even on a lousy night, okay, we're cutting through a lot of the haze, and you see details like you cannot believe. Last night was amazing because we actually did that as well. I'm going to show you more. All right, so first now what you have to do is I have to focus here because we're actually not focused now because we're using a filter. And let's go and cut down here. Actually, I'm going to increase our brightness on the planet so I can see the little moons, and I will use those for doing the focus, which is what everybody wants to use. So now we just grab and go. So we watch, and okay, now we're out of focus. And you say, well, how come you're doing that? Because you cycle the focus, you go back and forth, and you let the eye average the focusing for you. And sometimes it's very good, and sometimes it's not. But for the most part, it does a good job, you know. And when you can't figure it out, you can actually go to a different focal setup, you know, like I'm doing now, a faster speed on the focus. And you can actually get it to be very close. And is that very close? Let's find out. Now we're going to come down and drop this to a little bit lower like that. Now we'll take a picture at a 13th of a second. Yeah, look at that. Holy cow, let me show you. That's not bad. That's pretty good, see? We can see the cloud bands. We can see this top here. We can see the lower bands and the zones in between. So we actually have a lot of detail that we can see in this tonight. And if it gets higher in the sky, we'll actually be able to see more, you know? Now, I think, based on where we are in the sky, we are still in a good position to look at some of the Milky Way objects. So let's go check that out while we're here, because I really want to show you this stuff. This is so cool. All right, so now when I was showing you our setup before, this is the SkyTour LiveStream main screen, like I told you. This is our observatory cam down here. That's actually, what you see, that round thing there, this guy right here. I'm going to bring this up for you just a minute. All right, so let me grab this and show you. Okay, this right here, this is actually a automated cover that closes the telescope, and this is an arm that goes down to a motor right here. And I wrote a program to actually close the telescope when we're done using it, because when you're using a remote telescope like this one will be out in Arizona, it's going to be out in the middle of the desert. We're not going to have someone out there closing the telescope manually, so we have to think of everything. So I machined this stuff up, and now this closes beautifully. This is a big pad, and it's going to be bigger out in Arizona because it has to cover more than one telescope. There's another telescope up on top, but you can barely see right here. It's the guide scope. So this will have like another mouse ear on top of it that's going to cover that particular telescope as well. Are you back, Keith, or no? He's still putting out a cat. He's eating. he made himself a sandwich is what he did. Did you bring enough for the whole class? Jeez. So anyway, that's how that works. And currently where I have the camera, it's just sort of like a little bit of an eyesore. It's in the way, but not to worry. It's merely meant for me to keep track of what's going on in the dome. Okay, so you saw all of this. You saw the entire setup, but now this is the additional piece that's here. This is our wonderful in-session planetarium that we use. It actually also is a system that I use to control the telescope. All right, and so we're actually controlling the telescope with this as well. Really nice, and it works very well. So I was just synchronizing the telescope's pointing with Jupiter. Okay, so now if we back out of here, you'll see that we have a horizon. We have some land here. Well, that's actually the land here. Okay, that's my house. I'm actually in there. This is the northern horizon. If you notice, this is the Big Dipper right here. Okay, if you can't see it, let me help you out. There's the Big Dipper right there. And the
Hello, Tom.
Yeah,
thanks for saying hi.
Huh?
Tom said hi to me, so I figured to say hi back to him.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And so now that's the north up there. And what we're looking at here, the reason it looks like it's all discombobulated here is because this is moving the way the telescope moves. When the telescope looks over here, it's on an angle. Okay, and so that actually helps us figure out how things are going to look in the eyepiece, because this is the view in our eyepiece. Okay, it's actually a little bit smaller than this because this is for the previous telescope that was on this pier, that is SkyTour East's original telescope. That's being...
Rachel, question in chat, by the way.
What's
when
that?
you're done. Rachel
Okay.
has a question in chat, by the way.
Yeah, again, did we find out if it's Rachel or Rochelle? I missed the if she responded.
Yeah, I did too.
But okay, let me just go through this one last time here. So that's how that looks. That's our location and range. And here's the south. When you look straight south, the telescope is perfectly level. As soon as you start to go this way, it starts to lean over. But that's normal. That's what it should be doing. So tonight, let's start off with this guy. This is the Lagoon Nebula. Watch Jupiter now. I'm telling it to go. Boom! There goes Jupiter. Disappears. And what happens is the telescope does what I call high precision pointing. High precision. Yeah, and so it's going down here to Al Nozzle, the star, and it can find it only if it's probably there, but I have to show it to you. There it is. Okay. That is, it looks like I'm seeing red, so it looks like we have some dome issues.
This dome action going on.
Yeah, I have a light on in the dome that's red, and that light is meant to show us if there is any leakage onto our sensor. And this is the Lagoon Nebula, but you can't see a nebula, can you? There's a reason for that.
And it is Rachel.
It is, okay.
And hello, Bob.
Thank you very much, Rachel.
Dole.
Bob Harless is here. Very nice to see you. Thank you. Doll Eye. Hey, how you doing, Doll? I think Dew was here and he left. I guess he had to go to sleep or something.
Yeah, he said he was having a night.
Okay. So this is a live, low light view, and what I'm going to do is just increase, and you can see the red. That indicates that we have the edge of the dome in the view.
Hey, am I wrong, or is Andromeda right now like early morning in the northeast sky? Northwest?
Well, I'll show you. Okay, so
but it is up right now. Like it is up in the sky right now.
See, if we go over here, I'll show you. Okay. All right, right there is the Andromeda Galaxy, right there. Now, it's also very low in the sky. All right, yeah. So if we look at this, it's actually only, it's under 30 degrees. So it's above 25 and below 30. So it won't be very nice right now. And that in this location, it's actually in some of the murk. Here,
Merkaba.
This stuff is really nice. But we're right down here where you can see that little plus sign there, that little circular target.
Mark, will you please answer Rachel's question?
What?
I'll read it for you. Is this the year when Sirius does an alignment with the Earth, Sun, and Orion's belt?
I don't know the answer to that question.
I
have to define.
Question.
I need to get an alignment definition, Rachel. I'm sorry.
From Daydreamer.
Okay.
What is the closest object?
Davy Dreamer. Oh wait.
Daydreamer.
You're right. Sorry, I thought that was a V. My mistake. Sorry, Dave. I'm sorry, Day.
Don't ever correct me in public again, Mark.
Hey, watch it now. Watch it now.
Daydreamer wants to know, what is the closest object you can capture?
Closest object?
Mark, run outside and stick your face inside the scope.
That'll be the closest object I can capture. I can tell you that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beat me up, snotty.
Hey.
What?
Easy there. No one said that. Yeah, you did.
I usually do in the wintertime when my nose is running, right before I sniff.
Okay.
Beat me up, snotty.
I'm going to go out and move the dome. I'll be right back. You got it?
Don't us.
Hey, don't threaten you, right? All right, folks, I'll be right back.
And David
nice
Schmidt.
Keith. It's his first time out of the ward.
David Schmidt. David, I did get your email. I was checking around here. I'm not going to get into it on stream, but yes, I talked to them about it, and it's unlikely, but there's a reason behind it, and I'll email you and let you know why. let's just say from where they work, they're extremely busy right now, and I'll go over that in an email with you. Because they work at not a normal place, if you will. Okay, let's see. Where'd Papa Tom go? He came in and said hi, and then I haven't seen him since. There he is. The moon. Is the moon up? No, it's not up already, is it? Huh. And am I saying that right? Doll-eye? Of course, Ronald. Hey, Ron, did you ask Mark about your lens millimeter question that you were asking me? Which is totally the wrong person to ask. Listen, I'm on the computer side. If you want telescope answers, Paul or Mark, that's the way to go, buddy. That is the way to go. So, I wish I could help. I know the basics. Like, I know how to align a telescope. I know how to use a telescope. But when it comes to, like, differences and magnification and stuff like that and focal length, that's not my area of expertise. Hello, Light Being from the UK.
Hey, Light Being.
Nice little alien head. Okay, and Doll says
David Schmidt is here.
I already did all that. Show up to class on time next time, Dean.
You better watch it, young one.
Oh my.
Ooh, take it. Strike me down with it.
Remember that?
So what did you do? Move the dome?
I did. So now when we take a photo here, and I guess I should have probably turned off the video a long time ago. Here we go. So now I'll be able to, we can take a picture. Let's see, 30 seconds at 10,000. I'm just going to give you a quick view. 20 seconds at 12,500. Not 12,800.
Just a little peek.
Just a little peek. This is the Lagoon Nebula. It's a stellar nursery. A nursery of stellars. Now,
Looks like a dot.
Hmm?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said it looks like a dot.
Well, right now it does.
But all of a sudden the image gets processed and boom!
Oh, yeah. And I got to show you some of the differences. Okay.
Wow, that is
Not
huge.
spectacular.
What?
I'm trying to figure out why it's not where it says it was. All right. Yeah, it was supposed to be. Oh,
again.
it's not here.
Yeah. Look
Jeez.
at that. Professional astronomer. Way off the mark.
Yeah, well.
Get it? Off the mark because it's Mark.
Whoa.
Anybody? No? Giggity? Nothing? Okay.
Yeah.
Giggity, giggity. All right.
Yeah. Yeah. So it went to all nozzle, but I don't know why it didn't go to the nebula.
Tom wants to know why you don't put a bigger hole in your dome.
Unfortunately, Tom, you know what? Great question. This dome, great idea. Every astronomer wants an actual dome, but the fun of having a dome wears off because the dome has a slot, just like you know, and you have to be able to move the dome around and open and close that shutter. That's the problem.
Yep.
And I don't want to have to do all that. I want to be able to just take the roof off so I never even have to worry about going out there to move a dome. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. This is going to be converted to a roll-off roof observatory, just like the Arizona Observatory.
Yeah, it's going to be high tech.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I got a beautiful program I wrote, and I actually added some LEDs, so there'll be a blue glow and a red glow in there, and those tell me things that are important. And it's all good stuff, you know. Let's bring this down a little bit.
What a time we live in.
What's that?
What a time we live in, technology-wise. Everything's starting to blossom. Like, we knew technology was going to go, like, fourfold, like, easily.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Over, like, a year span. And it is not disappointing.
We've talked about that, you and I.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about that. Okay. So let's do a 20-second shot here again. I have to let it sit for a while. This is the cluster that's in the Lagoon Nebula. But this is the star we care about right here, I think. This is the one.
Yeah, that's the one. Screw the rest of them. We like that one.
Yeah, actually, you don't want to like that one.
Well,
No, it's
I can tell you right now, it's not D'Artagnan, and it's not Juventude.
Oh, look. I have to, I've got to take another shot.
Yeah.
No worries. It just had a little guide error.
Hey, by the way, anybody interested, I did do an update on Astro Imaging Live. I did get the backgrounds to work on there. So now each page that you go to, all the way across Astro Imaging Live, which is myself and Mark and Bill, New York Skywatcher. So in case of the rare occurrence that we're all on at the same time, you can watch them all three simultaneously right there, and just pick which audio you want to listen to. But I did update the website. It is at astroimaginglive.com.
And here is what's hidden beneath the murk of the night sky. This is the Lagoon Nebula, and this was a 20-second photo. I'll repeat that, 20 seconds.
20.
Yeah, see, I repeated it. And
20.
What you notice, okay, when we look at this, there is a star right here.
20.
Yes. Okay. And it's
making sure.
You making sure that you understood?
Yep.
Yeah. Now that star right there.
Takes 3 times. I understand them. I get them. Yeah, look at that. I like the way you can move around and point at stuff now. That's actually pretty neat.
Well, this star, okay, this is one of the hottest stars in the universe, okay, and it's lighting up this entire nebula as you see it. Now, it's not to say that these stars over here aren't doing that too, because they are. They're actually part of this, you know. So they're actually doing part of this, okay, and it lighting it up. And they're a young cluster that's in this Lagoon Nebula, and so they were born here, and as you can see, they're young, all right, and hot, and they have stellar winds like our sun has a stellar wind, and this stellar wind is blowing gas that was surrounding them away, all right, and so a new cluster of stars will tend to disperse the gas in which they were made, because when they have all that gas, they don't get any more. You know, the star is radiating outward, and there's no way that any gas could just sort of lazily drift down and, you know, join their gravity and become, a bigger star while it's already formed. Once it's formed, it's a blazing radiator that will not let anything near it. Okay, so it continues to blaze this gas away, not burn it, but to push it away just with its stellar winds, right? This star here is a really, really bright O star. That O stars, like I said, are the hottest stars in the universe. And when we look at this star here, what we have to understand is that as an O star, its heat and its radiation it's putting out is doing something to the hydrogen gas in this nebula. It's mostly hydrogen that we're seeing here. It's causing the electron that's circling the proton. I say circling loosely. Anyone who knows quantum mechanics knows that they don't really circle, but hey, it's an electron cloud. Okay, the electron is around the proton, and that together they make a hydrogen atom. But when you hit it with a lot of ultraviolet radiation, which these stars are well known for, very, very hot stars, you hit them with a lot of ultraviolet, and then what will happen is that star's radiation will cause the electron to go into a higher energy state and sometimes be unbound, completely leave the atom, leaving only the hydrogen nucleus, which is a single proton, behind. And now that electron outside the atom is now free to interact with other things, including other atoms, or it can interact with other electrons and repel, bounce around, and collide. In so doing, they lose energy, and they begin to basically become more attracted to the proton, because the protons are positive and the electrons are negative, and positive and negative attract each other. So you give it a lot of energy, and it can escape that positive grasp. But when it starts to bounce around and collide and loses energy, well, now that positive and negative begin to attract each other again, and the electron comes back into the atom. That's called recombination. And when that happens, the electrons will fall to a particular energy state in the atom. In hydrogen, it falls to a number of states, but for the red color we see here, the atoms end up with these electrons falling into the second energy level. Okay, we call it the N equals 2 state, but that's okay. It's just the second energy level. Now they're falling into all these other states. Okay, there's all these discrete energy states. Okay, and I've said this before. That's the reason we call it quantum mechanics, because they're specific quanta. And so when it goes to energy level 2, it actually gives off energy to rejoin that that state. And when it does, it gives off energy that's exactly 656 nanometers, or 63 angstroms, if you're still using angstroms. And that's a measurement of the size of the wavelength. But that corresponds to an energy level that is associated with a color that you see. And that color that you see is the red. That's why the nebulas like this are red. Okay, so we did a exposure here of just 20 seconds, but we're going to take one that's a little longer now, and I'll show you what's really lurking behind here. Okay.
One of our greatest thinkers of all time, Paula Abdul, once said, opposites attract.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's kind of true. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to, we're going to take a 30-second shot, all right, for 12,800. Okay. And now that's called a stop. When you go up by 2 exposures like that, you go from 20 seconds to 25 seconds to 30. That's 2 exposure intervals. And each of those intervals is called a stop. So I've gone up 2 stops photographically. 2 stops means that going up 2 stops means that you actually have more light coming in for longer, and the image will be brighter. And when we look at, we go back to this guy right here, when the new one comes in, we'll actually be able to compare it. And there we are. So this is the earlier one we just took. Okay.
And all the stars behind the stars.
I know. Well, it is. It's really something, and this, just so you know, I'm also put in a little native processing here. So all this fuzzy stuff, that's noise, but I've actually put in a way to reduce that immediately so you can kind of see the nebula a little bit better right from the start. So now you can actually see that there's a lot more going on. There's stuff out here. There's stuff out here. In fact, I can also show you that I probably could just do this and show you a little better what's going on. There we go. So that's more like what it really looks like right now. Okay. I had it on a little bit higher contrast that's going out to you. So I changed that. I made it now what I see on my screen from the observatory. So I'm using the observatory telescope as if I'm sitting right in front of it. Okay.
Pretty.
Now, you know what? Here's a sad truth for you. When you think of astronomers, you think of these guys that will go out and look through telescope eyepieces. You know what? This is going to sound awful, but I don't have any eyepieces to look through in this telescope. I mean,
Amen.
I do, but they're in a case over here, and I don't use them. I haven't used them for many years.
Yeah. Why? Oh, what lenses are you using? What filters are you using? And it seems like it takes everybody like a second to process that when I say we don't use lenses or filters. Like, huh?
Well,
I guess
you're using CMOS sensors to gather your images now, which is what you guys are doing with your cameras, no doubt, and what I'm doing to get my camera. Now, we used to use CCD cameras, charge-coupled devices, those are called. Those are beautiful when they first came out. I got one of the best ones, but then that changed, and technology went and leapfrogged past those. And now,
hello, Marianne.
I was going to tell you to say hi to Marianne. Yeah. Marianne is one of our principal helpers and developers of SkyTour LiveStream West.
And the poor lady still doesn't have a blue name. What is up with that? Jeez.
Who, Marianne?
Yeah.
It's only because, I talked to her about this. She may not remember this, but she doesn't really know much about doing the moderating thing. And I just, she's a police officer in Arizona, and I don't want to saddle her with yet another thing, because then she'll just tase me again. And what?
Oh, we can only hope.
Yeah, what? Hey.
Marianne, next time get it on camera. Give you 50 points.
If you know better, Marianne, you won't respond to that.
$75 now.
Oh, what? Okay, we're gonna go back and take another photo here. I'm liking this.
What a photo.
Actually, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show you something else. These two filters, if I go to filter number 1 is the narrowest of the narrow band, you'll notice the stars almost disappear. And to show you that more clearly, okay, here is the view. I'm gonna get rid of our observatory cam right now. We don't really need it. I'll turn it off. And if we look, if I move ahead back to filter number 2, which is the slightly wider narrow band, you can see that some stars seem to show up. Okay, go to 1, okay, and less show up. If I go to the filter that has just a hole where it's just white light coming through, now you can see even more, and you can even see a little hint of the nebula itself. And you might say, well, take a picture with that. That's going to be spectacular. It's not. It's not. You have to take a picture with a filter because the filter is the only way that you're going to get the look. That
You are done for, D'Antonio. You're done for.
Why? What did she say?
Oh, we are plotting schemes.
Yeah, I don't see any schemes in the, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean you do it for free? What are you talking about? Oh, man.
You'll be like that Cheetos tiger when you get tased. You'll just be like, I.
Yeah. That's right.
That'd be great.
Okay, we're going to go to 25,600, and we're going to do our best to take a picture that I think would look okay. Now, this is with filter number 1. This is the narrowest of the narrow band filters I have. And,
Tom.
Yeah, I know. Nightstick comment.
Yeah.
Yes.
What a
Tom,
crazy
we've got to keep the violence down now.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Listen, if I do get out to Arizona, Marianne, can you seriously tase me?
Oh.
No, seriously, I would like to, because I never experienced.
But you better have a change of clothes.
That's all right. I'll do it.
And if you videotape it, you're gonna never show it to anyone because you're gonna be
Like
you're gonna scream like a little girl.
Right?
You have involuntary reactions.
I'll probably scream and cry, but
you'll have involuntary reactions. Look at this. Look at this. Come on. Oh, wow. You know, this is just beautiful. Holy cow. And let's do some processing. Ready? Kabam. Look at that.
Good humidity too.
We have bad humidity right now, but look at that.
Well, that's what I meant.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Good
Yeah.
humidity.
See how much details right here? Now, we took this photo with another filter and...
Hey, stop for a second. Didn't you tell me one time humidity it actually sometimes can help?
On planetary views, it may sometimes help you because it acts not like a lens, but kind of like a refining element.
Okay.
Because it might make the air more still. And still air is the friend to telescopic views. But it doesn't help with light buckets like we have. This is where our light bucket excels. See this?
Yeah.
This is a deep sky nebula, and we're caught this in 30 seconds. You know, it is absolutely stunning. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Look at the convolutions and detail in here. Now, you see all this noise in here? This is noise. And you might think, well, the picture's ruined. It has all that noise. I can get rid of all that. I can get rid of all that noise.
I've seen him do it.
That's right. Hey, Lori, how are you? Thanks for coming on board and joining us. Yeah. Lori Arbonat is here.
Hello, Lori. Welcome to the SkyTour.
She's telling you, you're crazy, but you are sure going to scream like a little girl.
That's fine.
I have seen a full-grown cop with arms the size of frickin' thighs, okay? He gets tased, he goes, Yee! And falls down like a little girl. I mean...
Yeah, but I've seen some meth heads do some wonderful things.
What do I do with this guy?
Doesn't phase them at all.
Ooh, yeah, that's true. That's actually true. You know, they can be crazy.
I don't know if it interrupts their nerve pathways or something. I don't know. It's crazy.
All right, we're doing a 1 minute shot now. We're going to double it at this same location. So we're going to see what 1 minute on this nebula will do.
Boy.
Keep in mind, this was 30 seconds with the other filter, and that looks good. And then 30 seconds with the better filter. Look at the difference. This is a tremendous difference in detail. This whole thing now becomes very, very clear. And you might say, well, why is that becoming clear? I don't get it. It's sort of there, but kind of hidden here. And that's, like I said, a good picture. Then this comes in. Whoa. It increases the contrast between the non-essential wavelengths that we don't care about and the ones we do care about. And that's why it looks so much better. Yeah.
Maze.
Yes, it's mazed. Oh, thanks, Laura. I'm glad you are here. Yep. Okay, we had a little bit of
little bit of noise.
Little walk, so I have to do it again. But that's beautiful. When it comes in beautifully, then it's gonna really, really be impressive.
Imagine the first astronomers that saw that.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that, because when they first saw this stuff, they didn't know what these hazy, fuzzy things were. And we're talking in particular about the Orion Nebula, because that's one you see with your eye. It's bigger than this in the sky.
Yeah.
In the
can you imagine just like staring off at this dark spot, and you're like, yeah, okay, and all of a sudden like a image comes back, like, because they used to do it. How did they used to do the longer exposures? Wasn't it like glass or something like that?
Oh yeah,
or,
actually, I did classical glass plate photography on a 150-year-old refractor that was 35 or 40 feet long.
Yeah. Can you imagine that image comes back from what you thought was just a little dot in the sky?
Yeah, that's what
explode.
Yeah, your brain would actually quite literally explode, along with melt a little. I
think nobody ever seen that before, and all of a sudden that appears.
Oh, I know.
Jeez, imagine that guy. Like,
yeah, look at this. This is the 1 minute shot now. That is a stunning nebula. That's just so beautiful. Now, I took this nebula.
Space stuff.
Huh?
The birthplace of space stuff.
That is right. The birthplace of space stuff. Exactly right. And
space dust.
Well, it's the birthplace of stars, and we know that the area around these stars is quite littered with dust as well. These little molecules. Now, this is how much noise is in there. This is the reduced noise image, and I'll get rid of all of that as well. So this is just an idea. It's the stellar nursery where stars are born. This cluster was born here. This O star is causing all of this to glow. But as far as life goes, you might look at these stars and say, oh man, maybe there's planets around those stars. There could be. But in all likelihood, they're going to be sterile, because the reason this is glowing is because of high levels of ultraviolet radiation. And that's got to go, man. So what's that mean? It means this star, this O star, which is probably only a few million years old, this nebula was probably not visible when Australopithecus afarensis, known as Lucy, was wandering around in Africa. This was probably not visible. This nebula probably wasn't here.
Because that was the name of my other star.
Your other star.
Alaphrefractorentis. Yep, that was it.
Yeah, his other star was Dino de Laurentiis. Okay, well, that's good. Very good.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's a really cool nebula. Now, we're going to go to some other nebulae, too. Now, we're looking at the Lagoon right here. Yes, sir?
Voodoo Papst asked you earlier, and you know what? I forgot to tell you, but he asked again. He said, what do you think about the Deep Sky Stacker software?
Deep Sky Stacker is very useful. I've used it for years. And what you do is you take a lot of pictures of the same thing. Okay? Like if we took 20 1-minute shots like this, I'm really tempted to do that tonight. I really am, actually, because it'd be fun to do. And then if we then layer them together, like that's what Deep Sky Stacker does, it brings out this detail even more, and it will suppress all the noise back here even more. Really, really good software. I use something else now. It's actually called Sequator. And it's free. Sequator. Sequator.
As an Earth sequator. Sequator. Earth sequator.
Yeah, not quite, but okay. Yeah, Sequator.
Just play along.
Yeah, and Deep Sky Stacker is really good, but Sequator actually it does some things to actually remove some light pollution, even though generally I don't like to do that. I like just having the raw stacked images, and I usually do use just those. But when I'm actually trying to get something up on Facebook, it's really nice to be able to just have one that's had some of the light pollution removed, a few steps done for me. And you're in full control of that, by the way. So it's a matter of whether I want to do it in Photoshop or if I want to do it in Deep Sky Stacker or Sequator. Now,
I should mention to Pete. I looked back for a question from you. Only one I seen was about Amanda. Is that the question you were talking about that got erased? Because I don't see. I don't know if I missed it or I looked back a little bit.
Yeah, we're not deleting any messages, Pete. Certainly, go right ahead and ask.
Yeah, I don't know if. Yeah, the only one I saw was about where's Amanda, and I don't know where Amanda is tonight.
Well, I can tell you, she's not joining us tonight. Maybe she'll be here next time. And Daryl is not feeling well, so he's under the weather, so he's not joining us. We did not have a SkyTour radio show because Daryl was not feeling well, and I, of course, couldn't with the hurricane and the cleanup, helping other people clean up their yards and their world, which has been devastated, and having people come over here to use our home because they didn't have power. That was been really kind of busied my week. And I never had time to write the show for tonight. I got part of it done, but I couldn't get all of it done. So that's why we're still, it was a repeat tonight. And I am sorry about that. But that's unfortunately what happens. These darn hurricanes, you try scrubbing them out. You try soaking them out. And still they come back. All right. Let's see. One of the things we actually might want to do here. Let me try. That's too low. I'm trying to show you guys something else in addition. How many of you were here with us last night? There is an awful lot going on in this region. And I want to show you this just because this is the Sagittarius star cloud. This is looking toward the center of our galaxy. All right. You still there, Keith? Or did you fall asleep?
Starburst.
That's what I thought. Strawberry?
Right now it's lemon.
Okay, lemon.
And then after that's orange. And then the pink one. And then 2 red ones.
Wow. And after that, it's dentures. Okay.
Yep. Delicious.
So we're down here now. There's the star that it's lined up on. And now it's going to go racing up to the Sagittarius star cloud. You'll see this move. Actually, we're not doing a star cloud. Where's it going? It went back to the lagoon. I didn't want it to go there. My mistake. All right. Let me do this. I'm going to have it go here. All right. So now let's make it go there.
Hey, Papa Tom coming through with $5 to the SkyTour LiveStream. Thank you, Papa Tom.
Wow. Thanks, Papa Tom. That's very kind. I love the people that come along and hang out with us, and the folks that feel they can give, that's wonderful. We could always use it. We put all that money, never goes to me or anybody else. It goes right back into the observatory. And that's really a good thing. Thank you very much, Papa Tom.
See, even Brian gets it. He knows. He knows the deal.
Yeah, but Ronald doesn't. He says he likes cherry the best.
Oh, Ronald. Cherry. Such a plain
Listen,
Jane.
you can,
Hey, it is actually pretty good.
it is, but it's
Cherry's actually pretty good Starburst.
Yeah, but it tastes so like chemically, so like fake.
Starburst? Are you out of your mind?
The lemon is the best one, and that tastes like disinfectant, but that's okay.
Oh, you were so off the mark. See what I did there? Off the mark again? Nothing? Nobody? Okay. Bye.
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, so okay, there we go. So now we're gonna head up here. We should go to the Sagittarius star cloud now. And we'll see the telescope indicator start showing up. And there we go. And over here in our main view, you'll see the stars moving a little bit because it's zooming in and it's actually zeroing in, I meant to say.
Hey, Mark, how much did your whole telescope setup cost? That's a question from Philip. He wants to know how much would a telescope setup like this cost?
Hey, Philip Wynn. Nice to see you. Well, if you add up everything that's in there, along with the alarm system and everything, we're talking about $8,000 right now. But keep in mind that we did start a GoFundMe for the observatory, and that's what paid for most of what we have out there right now. Which is why I'm so dead set on making sure that you get your money's worth for those that donated. I think in someone like me, you guys get someone who's just fanatically devoted to making sure that you get a really, really good night when you come along here.
I feel like I got my $2 worth.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah. I can hear that starburst in your cheek. It's not quite melted yet.
It's so delicious. I'm sitting here slobbering on myself.
And
anyway, I'll mute again until I get done the orange one.
And Bobby Burgess says, I just had a sandwich. I think non sequiturs are good, Yep. So we're taking a 1 minute shot here of the Sagittarius star cloud just to give you an idea of how many stars are out there that we can see in this area. I did this last night for the group that was with us, and some of you are back, and so you'll see it again. But you know what? It really never gets old. It really never gets old. There's so many things to see in this region. We could literally go just bump the telescope a little bit at a time and just go into these new places and see all this new cool stuff. And we might do that, actually. That might be fun. Okay. So here's a Sagittarius star cloud right here. And it's full of stars. And I'm seeing there's an object right here. I have to look on the chart and see what's there. There might be something there that I'm missing. But you'll notice that there is these two stars together. They look like a double star. But I do believe those are what's called a visual double. Not really a true double star. It's just that one is closer to us and one's farther away. Okay, and the one that's farther away, God, come on, get it right. The one that's farther away, looks like it's near the other one, but they're very different in distance. And that's kind of what we see. Where'd it go? It's kind of what we see. Let me figure this out. All right, it's kind of what we see when we look at here. Okay, right there. So that star right there, that double is not really a true double per se, but it is really cool and it's beautiful. Looks gorgeous in the camera too. And now I want to go see what this object is. Okay. Thank you, Phil. Thank you very much, Philip. I'd love to find you a UFO. I wish I could. But you know what? You stick around and you might see one. We actually end up seeing a lot of satellites, but we don't know what satellites they are. It's possible, that those might be satellites that are actually defense projects, I have friends who've worked in that arena, and I've worked in that arena, and it's just really amazing what's up there, and that really is ours. We have some really good capabilities, let me tell you. We really do. Yeah. Ronald put a link in. What's that link for, Ronald? Okay, that's the video that Bill did okay for Amanda, right? All right, so let's go down here. Look at some more things. Are you back in now, Keith, or what?
Yeah, I've been here.
Okay.
I'm just listening.
Ah, there we go. Okay, that's what I thought. It's this little cloud, this cluster. So if we're here, then that's up there. So I don't even have to tell it to go anywhere. I just have to go up to it. So we'll go up to it.
Do it.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Watch out. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Here we go.
Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There we go. Yeah. What's that?
French taters.
Huh?
French fried taters.
Yeah. They call me Tater Salad, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Ron White. Okay. So now we are lined up on NGC 6603. It's actually a cluster, an open star cluster. Open star clusters are clusters that look like they're all alone out in space. Sometimes they're part of a nebula. But when you see them like this, and we'll see more of them, they're actually very indicative of what happened in that region. Because there used to be a cloud of hydrogen gas that they formed in. And all those stars formed kind of around the same time. So when you see a star cluster like that, then most of them are about the same age. I say most of them because when we look a little more in depth, we might see other stars in there that aren't as young. We might see older stars. And that happens to be because, again, we're looking at a 3D universe. The star cluster may be way back here, and it might have one star way up front, up here, that isn't even part of this cluster. But in 3D, it looks like it. In the 2D view from the telescope, it might look like it is. You know, and so that's something we have to watch out for. So we're doing 1 minute on this.
By the way,
cluster.
yes, please look at T-Toys and UFOs on YouTube. Great stuff, by the way.
Oh, Papa Tom's?
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yes.
I've seen many of his. I think he did. He did what, 1 or 2 for Bill.
Yep.
Where's the current one I've seen? Somebody had just gotten one and was talking about it.
I think that was Amanda that he gave one to, right?
Was it?
It was the cow being abducted.
I'm not sure, but I was like, wow. I said, Tom's really gotten awesome at doing these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, really good stuff.
Yeah.
If you guys like UFOs, Tom does models of them, and they're really good, really well done.
Hey, and don't forget, I work for MUFON, so I'm their chief photo and video analyst. So I see a lot of these UFO images, and some of the UFOs he presents are similar to what's been seen out there. So there's validation.
Doesn't Bill has the TR3B looking one, like the triangle?
Is it the one I made, or is it the one that Papa Tom made?
Oh, Tom made that one.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Because I have the Belgian triangle, the S4 UFO. Actually, I'm preparing a set now for someone who bought a set.
Tom K asked, what could flash multiple times in the same spot in the sky with a few seconds in between flashes in very high southern sky as well as northern sky, not geosynchronous orbit, no sound?
Okay, I can answer that, but I'm going to first answer Philip's question, who asked before that.
Okay.
My thoughts on the Starlink satellites. And this relates to your question, Tom K., so I'll get to that. And we can enjoy this beautiful star cluster here, right there, very faint. What happens with the Starlink satellites, I'm an astronomer, that's what I went to school for, and so I value a dark sky. The satellites rob you from the dark sky. I'm amazed that right now we don't see more of them going through the shot, any of these shots, but we will. And if it was an occasional thing, that'd be fine, but in every shot we take, every shot you take, okay, you will find a satellite.
That's my Paula Abdul joke, and you want me to giggle at that? I'm going to anyway. Ha!
No, actually, I didn't.
You're going to do Backstreet Boys? Okay. Okay. I see what level playing field we're on now.
Oh, come on. Go back to the Backstreet Boys. So.
Tell me why. Oh.
I hate that song. So.
Was that the? Oh, I don't know.
In every shot, we might see a faint satellite going through if we could only see it. Many of them are really, really faint. The geosynchronous satellites, by the way, are about 22,000 miles out. And they, as the Earth rotates, it rotates at a certain rate. And you can imagine that for a satellite to be over the same spot on the Earth all day and all night means that it will have to move at a certain speed in its orbit so that it's always over the same place. A lot of television and a lot of service satellites are at these positions way out far because of the fact that they need to be in the same spot all the time. Okay, when you have your DirecTV satellite hooked up, your DirecTV satellite hookup is not pointing at something that's only 400, 500 miles up. It's pointing at a satellite that's 22,000 miles out because it's pointing at the same spot in the sky. And it's not moving, is it? And that's what these satellites are for. They're for giving you reliable signal all the time from the same spot. All right. So that's why you set your satellite dish and you don't touch it after that because it's all lined up. Right.
And it's usually in our areas pointed at the southern sky. Mm-hmm. Why is that, Mark?
Well, because most of these satellites all the geosynchronous satellites are on the ecliptic, which is the celestial equator. And
but if you were, say, in Brazil, then what would you do?
Well, you point it more toward the north.
The northern sky, yeah.
If you're on the equator, you point it straight up.
Straight up now, tell me. Paul Abdul, 1980.
Okay, Alex Jones had it again. Yeah.
InfoWars.TV.
So as you can see, the geosynchronous satellites are not really harmful because at that distance, we actually spend the nights photographing geosynchronous satellites, and we'll actually see them, we'll catch them, we'll know where they are, and I'll say, okay, we're going to catch these three, and then sometimes they'll run in trios, and I mean 3 at a time, because they're the way they're set up. They also have lower altitude satellites that are running in triplets too, and people will say, oh, look, a triangular craft. Yeah, I'd love to find a triangular craft. I think they're probably out there. But 3 satellites going together are going to look like a triangle because 3 points are always going to make a triangle unless they're one after the other, which is what relates to Phil's question about the Starlink. Starlink satellites are like a bright bead, a bright string of diamonds going through the night sky when they're first put out there, but then they disperse and distance from each other. That is a good thing, but it's also problematic because the Starlink satellites are very bright.
Yeah. And can I also add to this? This is where we differ because we at P&K usually do the moon and planets. It doesn't really affect us the way it does with deep sky astronomy and stuff like that. Like we don't really have we think it'd just be awesome to catch them, crossing the moon and stuff. So, but for real astronomers, I can see them being a problem.
But you know what? It's one thing to have 50 or 65 up there, but 14,000, 15,000 for just one project. You're going to get a lot of lunar transits, and of course people will love it and say, "Hey, what's that?" And of course they'll all think it's UFOs, and you'll get many more subscribers.
It's a fleet.
It's a fleet, yes. I actually had that when Starlinks were first launched. I had someone say that they saw this fleet of UFOs, and I've captured it, and you can't tell me it's not a fleet of UFOs. And I looked at the video, and it was the Starlink satellites in their, they're called a constellation, in their train of dots. And they said, there are 15 of them, and they're in formation. I go, yep, those are 15 objects flying in formation. I can even tell you they're probably going about 17,000 miles an hour, too, Wow, that's amazing. totally not understanding that that's how fast satellites go when they're at 250 miles up in order to stay in orbit. Because as you're going in orbit, you have to go horizontally by some amount because the Earth's going to keep pulling you down. And if you
always say the word orbit is just a fancy term for falling.
With style.
Yep, falling with style and speed.
Yeah. And so as the Earth's gravity pulls you down, okay, if your horizontal velocity is just enough, you can go in a circular orbit around the Earth because the gravity's pulling you in from all sides. Okay, so you'll end up in a circular orbit. So every bit you go, you also go down a little because the Earth's gravity's pulling you down. So you've got to have that horizontal speed to exactly match how much you're being pulled down, and now you'll stay in that orbit. It's a very interesting calculation to calculate a circular orbit. Okay,
and we call that orbital velocity.
Orbital velocity is what it's called, yeah. And if you want to move to a higher orbit, then you give yourself a boost, but you have to be careful because you could by giving yourself a boost, if you're not careful about the way you do it, you could end up going into a highly oval or what we call elliptical orbit if you want, and you have to translate back to a circular orbit. So you have to go up. You have to go up and over at the same time. So you have to actually do a kind of a combination maneuver to insert into another circular orbit at a higher altitude.
Yep.
And we calculated all that too. That was no fun. It was actually good. It was really good, but it wasn't fun because I was bored. So that's pretty cool. We got that faint cluster. Now let's see if we can grab this. And again, we're looking right towards the center of the galaxy, and in that direction actually is the supermassive black hole that we actually have video of stars orbiting. And they're going like fast. They really whip around it. But that's a 10-year video, all condensed down. So
quote unquote fast.
Yeah, for astronomy, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, okay. So let's check out this guy again. We did it last night, but I'd like to check it out again. This is called the Omega Nebula. Okay, and boom, there we go. We're on our way. And we're going to go to another bright star. We'll see if it changed reference stars yet. Or are we still down at Al Nozzle? Nope, we're not. So where is it? It's going to be up here somewhere.
Pete asked you if you've seen the TYC 8998-760-1, the first solar system pictured with its planets.
Oh, actually, it's not the first, but it's the first one that was seen with this Earth-based particular telescope, and it's really a really nice one. Yeah, I've seen it not in my telescope, but we did a story on it on our SkyTour radio Sunday nights at 8 to 10 p.m. on kgraradio.com.
.com.
.com. Not tonight though, because I couldn't, as I said, I couldn't write it because I had to help people get their lives back after the hurricane, and then after the all that, unfortunately, Daryl was under the weather as well, so we couldn't do it tonight. I prefer to have him at top notch as well. He doesn't want to do a show if he's not feeling well. Who does?
Ronald also asked you if you're still doing the photo project you mentioned, using a camera and take pictures of the night sky.
Yeah, Doug Trumbull and I. Doug Trumbull's a famous visual effects guy who did Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Blade Runner. So he worked with Spielberg and Ridley Scott and Stanley Kubrick on 2001: A Space Odyssey. I just talked to him yesterday because we're doing a movie on Nikola Tesla right now. And
can I be in that movie?
Yeah, you can be there's a piece of plywood that needs to be leaning against the wall. You can be the plywood.
I'll be a potted plant. I don't care.
No. A little more prestige. You can be the plywood.
Ooh, I can play the Faraday cage.
No, there's a lot of voltage going through there. I don't think you'd appreciate that one.
Okay. You couldn't even find a small part. Like I can't. Like, wait, is it a documentary or a movie?
It's a movie. But you see, it's a special movie. We're doing it at 120 frames per second in 4K. Okay, so high resolution and in 3D.
So, like, I couldn't play a bartender or something?
Yeah, no, there's no drinking scenes in the movie, actually.
What if I was the guy that gave Nikola Tesla the idea?
Yeah,
You can call me Frommenhoff or whatever his name was.
What? I am not going to debase history by inserting a false fact into it.
Listen, there has to be a part for me somewhere in there.
Yes, I'm
What-
sure we can figure
that'd be
something
the
out.
drunk, like Lang, that like Nikola Tesla just like steps over or
Actually,
something.
that would work.
I got to see the script.
That would work. Yeah.
Send me the script. I'll my agent will be in contact.
Yeah.
By my agent, I mean me.
Yeah, by your agent, you mean the FBI parole officer or the parole officer from the police? That agent?
I wouldn't exactly say parole officer. We like to call him a gentleman of corrections at this point in time,
Okay.
just to keep it professional.
Now you'll see this is a beautiful nebula that I wanted to capture for you. This is just a 20-second photo. This is the Omega Nebula, and we're gonna start another photo that's longer. Omega, for I am the Alpha and the Omega. So we're gonna do we'll do a 1-minute shot at, we'll say, go down to 20,000. No, 16,000 x. That's good. And now we're going back here, and I'll tell you what's going on. This guy right here, this nebula, is again in the summer Milky Way, and this is a nebula, and we're doing another one because of course it's dragged out a little bit. The guiding had a mistake. This has this hydrogen alpha glow that I talked about from the stars that were once formed here. And I say once formed because the Omega Nebula may be a nebula in decline. It's a nebula that has stopped doing stellar formation, apparently. And so what would be left for it? Well, what would be left for it is that it basically now is just subject to the light glow from the stars that it made within the nebula and around. And the light, the radiation, the ultraviolet radiation that excites these hydrogen atoms like this, this radiation is actually so powerful. Oh, look, it did it again. It's so powerful. I could have a problem with the guide too. But I'm going to try it again because it'll work.
Wait, who's playing Nikola Tesla?
A guy named Ryan Winkle, who actually is a Shakespearean actor, but made up to look like Tesla. He looks just like Nikola Tesla. It's actually frightening when you look at him. He looks you in the eye, and he's only like my height. He's not. He's slight of build, But when you look at him and he looks at you as Nikola Tesla, you really feel it. You feel like he really is Tesla. The movie is actually kind of interesting because if anyone out there knows who Doug Trumbull is, he did Silent Running as well and Andromeda Strain. If you've ever heard of Doug, you know that he's all about science fiction. So Nikola Tesla wasn't really a science fiction thing, right? But the movie about Nikola Tesla that we're doing is really interesting because, and I can see what's going on here. I'm gonna have to do a correction. It's really interesting because of the fact that our character of Tesla has been a person that was very regimented. He actually had a university position. He was teaching people here and there, and then I'm sorry, I made a mistake. The main character in the movie is a teacher who had a university position teaching, college-age kids, and she was extremely a big fan of Nikola Tesla. So much so that she covered the walls with Tesla stuff and was very much into his experiments. Well, she somehow got caught in a time vortex. Enter Douglas Trumbull, right? And in this time vortex, she ended up going back in time and appearing right in Tesla's Brooklyn laboratory. And we reproduced the Brooklyn laboratory exact inside our studio building. It's a building within a building. It's got working overhead pulleys and stuff. It's just really, really nice.
Where's the shooting?
We're shooting it in Massachusetts, Western Mass.
Are you going to recreate? Remember that famous picture of Tesla sitting in his shop?
Oh yeah, with the Faraday cage.
Yeah. You're going to recreate that kind of...
Well, we have an 8-foot Tesla coil in there now.
Yeah. So you mean to tell me I can't play Edison?
No, but see, nobody liked Edison in this movie.
I know. That's why.
Right. No, you don't want to be like disliked. You want to be well liked, you know.
The whole DC AC thing, you know.
Yeah. Yep. So.
Find a spot for me.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Wow, you're asking all these questions, man. There we go. Okay, I got to get this to. Okay, so here's the Omega Nebula, and when we look at this guy, you have this beautiful structure, this beautiful convolutions that you see here. This beautiful
Convolutions you see here. This beautiful.
What was that? What'd you say?
I didn't say anything.
You said convolution something, and I didn't hear the rest of it.
I didn't hear you say anything like that.
Well, really?
I wonder if you didn't get feeded in with another Skype because you like cut out for like 2 seconds.
Oh no, time
Maybe
vortex.
Yeah, I wasn't saying anything.
Oh man, this better not be one of those time vortexes. You know, I can't stand that. Oh no!
I know, time to get sucked into one.
No good. Yeah. When we were talking about the Orion Nebula before, I was talking about this. The Orion Nebula, that's the guy I was talking about. That's the one that most likely the ancient Babylonians probably saw first. Trust me, you can see that with your naked eye. It's really, really beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so
one of the most photogenic nebula too.
Yeah, I mean the Tarantula Nebula is pretty good too, but that's a southern hemisphere object. We can't see that here.
Like when people first get telescopes and started in astrophotography, you know, their first goal, their first thing they want to do is hit up Orion.
I did.
You know?
I did. I wanted to take a picture of the Orion Nebula. You know, and I did. I took a picture, you know. Yeah, we're going to take a look at this little cluster right here. This is NGC 6605. The Milky Way is host to all these amazing clusters of stars that just appeared over several billion years, hundreds of millions of years. Any cluster you see, there's clusters that are billions of years old, but for the most part, an open cluster is only typically a few 100 million years old because it's still all cohesive, it's still together. And when we see these clusters together, well, like that, when they're all cohesive, it means that the stars haven't had a chance to interact gravitationally to fling themselves away from each other through this gravitational interaction. It does happen, you know, it does happen, but it takes time to happen. All right, 20 seconds at 10,000. 20 seconds at 10,000 for this cluster. Let's see how it looks. I should have my guide start right now. So we're looking at this tiny cluster right here. And you're going to see it in a moment. I hope.
Tiny clusters there.
Tiny clusters in my soup. I don't see. Oh, actually, it's right here.
Oh, can I play the government official that's stealing his paperwork?
Actually, in our last movie, Ryan Winkles was in. There was a government official stealing his paperwork, and he was an astronomer who had designed a way to call in UFOs. And
that could be me.
No, that was Ryan Winkles.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is a gorgeous little cluster right here. See, some of these clusters are so small, they don't have very many members, but I have to show you an example of one that has many more members, which I think you would appreciate. And let's go see.
Let Ronald play the banker.
Let Ronald play the banker?
Yeah, put him up in like an old banker's outfit, with the suit and the stopwatch and everything.
Can you imagine that?
Just let Tesla go in there and try to get some money, and he can just be like, "No, not giving you any more money, Tesla.
That's
your
true.
Stupid experiments. I'm giving it all to Edison instead."
But then he'll laugh, and then that'll,
that would totally ruin it.
It
Or he'll
will.
be filming him with a camcorder.
Yeah. Well, no. The problem is if Ronald does it, then unfortunately what will happen, and Ronald, you know this is true, he'll hold up his phone and he'll be taping them. You know,
exactly.
With his phone.
But like, why does the banker have a Diet Coke?
In a 2-liter bottle.
Yeah, 2-liter bottle. The banker is swigging 2 liters of Diet Coke.
Yeah, that's right, Ronald. You got to stop that. How many of those 2 liters you go through in a day?
I think he said he slowed down a lot. I think he said he switched to some water sometimes.
No way.
Yeah, I think that's what he said.
Well, I've told people here I've been drinking water all day until night, and I have a meal at night. And it just took 30 days. I lost over 20 pounds.
Bobby wants to be in a movie too, so we got to find parts for me and Bobby. Man on Street number 2.
What part can you give me? He says. Well, let's see. There's a possibility.
Yeah, you can't be a plywood because that's me.
And I can't be plywood. That's right.
Ronald's the banker.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's only had 2 liters today so far.
Really?
That's what he said.
Wow. Very good, Ronald.
Or maybe not 2 liters. He just says he has 2 bottles.
And
yes, he's drinking water, and he is walking. He can't say he's not walking like we told him to. So,
no, that's true.
He's good.
He's got to walk.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't walk, then he's going to end up, solidifying and crystallizing from all the soda he drinks.
Hello, Trish D.
Trish D's here.
Trish D is here.
Hi, Trish D. How you doing? Thanks for coming by.
SkyTour LiveStream here on YouTube. Coming at you live from the basement of the Connecticut Sky Observatory.
The basement? What do you mean? This is not a basement operation, man.
Oh, you're in the battleship. We get it.
Yeah, I am. I'm in my ship, You can get seasick in here, man. Oh,
Yeah,
Bobby,
I'm
backing off if I have to be an extra. Oh, I'm sorry.
We gotta at least be in the credits, and we gotta have our
Extras aren't listed.
gotta be listed so we get our benefits from the Actors Guild.
I mean, you don't want too much, right?
Right.
Wow. We're actually just lining up here. Now I'm just going to... We're actually taking a photo right now. Here it comes. It's done. And let's see. It's going to be on the left a little bit. I'm sorry, the right. Yeah, gotta fix that.
Oh yeah, Pete, you're right. You never want to utter that word free, especially with a new technology. That made Tesla a very marked man. Especially by Mr. Edison.
Yeah. That was a
Mr.
problem. That were a problem.
He's like, what? You have this thing to help mankind and you're not going to charge for it? Psh!
Yeah, I know.
How dare they?
Yeah, that was kind of bad.
I'll show you, he said, and he went to the world's fair
Yeah, he did.
in Chicago.
All right, I'm doing a quick shot here to test this. I just made some changes to the telescope computer.
They did used to rock some stashes back then, didn't they?
They what?
Rocking some mustaches.
Oh, yeah. You know?
Like, what were they called? What were they called? Where you like grew your sideburns down to like a half a beard?
Oh yeah, yeah. That was that pork chop or something like that.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want to play a guy that has a pork chop.
No, that's terrible.
Mutton chop. It was a mutton chop, not a pork chop.
Yeah, mutton chop. Yeah. Wow. Okay, this is the Trifect Nebula, which is actually a beautiful nebula that's just above the lagoon, and we looked at it yesterday, and I'm just checking the quality of the sky tonight to see if it looks any better. And I can see the blue reflection nebula here a little better. This is usually under some processing, it'll get really, really much better. But let's just go back and set up a... And this was only 25 seconds. What's the matter?
You said pork chop.
Who did?
You did.
I did. Pork chop.
What kind of facial hair you got going there, buddy? Well, they call this a pork chop.
Well, then Trish says, yeah, the handlebars. Remember the handlebar mustaches?
Yeah, that's the kind you had to put that oil in and like twirl them.
Wax.
Makes you look like an evil genius.
It was wax, yes, like you Snidely Whiplash.
I'll get you, Dolly, do right.
Ah, fair enough.
Yeah, see? Yeah, copper.
That's right. The old Jimmy Cagney imitation, see?
Yeah, see?
Yeah, see, I'm the frog, see? Nobody can stop me 'cause I'm the frog. Come on, courageous guy, you can't help me. Oh, come on, Minnie Mouse, we gotta go get... Let's go get the frog, Minnie Mouse. Okay, courageous. Remember that?
Absolutely not, but it was funny.
Yes, you heard it. Courageous Cat and Minnie Mouse.
What are you doing, little Dolly? Want to go get my mustache wax for me? Thank you. Yeah, see?
I'm a Dapper Dan man. What movie was that from?
Baby, go hand me my pantaloons.
It's not the movie.
Yeah, there were some guys that had some crazy, like they had the mustache that came down and went down past their chin and all the way down their neck.
Yeah, kind of really weird, huh?
Mega Hulk Hogan style.
Yeah.
Just, the extra distance, if you know what I mean. It's
this
great.
Is beautiful. This Trifect, it looks really nice. It's called a Trifect, of course, because it has these 3 lobes defined by this dark nebula.
Looks like a Chinese star.
Yeah, but what's really going on is this stuff here is actually in the foreground, and this bright nebula is cohesive behind it, but this stuff is wound and twirling through it. So you don't actually see, it looks like 3 separate lobes, but it's actually a bright red object here with this darker nebula that is sitting above it and obscuring what's behind it. Yeah. Exactly. That's right, see?
See? Yeah.
Yeah, see? So what we have to do now is we have to talk like Jimmy Cagney for the rest of the night, and we will have no one watching.
You do Jimmy Cagney, and I'll be Jimmy Stewart.
Mary, all right.
Yeah. Well, that nebula looks absolutely fantastic.
That's right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to another.
Very pleasurable visualization. See?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nebula, see?
Oh, yeah, and Dr. Diabetes died, too.
Dr.
Man.
Diabetes?
Yeah.
Dr.
Wilford
Demento?
No. Wilford Brimley passed away.
Oh, Dr. Diabetes. Oh, right.
I always remember those commercials when I was staying home from school. He'd come on just all looking grumpy, like somebody's angry grandfather.
Yeah.
He'd come, listen, do you have diabetes? Or do you suffer from diabetes?
Yeah, it was always diabetes. 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 Who knows? When I was a kid, I called it diabetes.
Yeah, you got diabetes, eh? Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, yeah, I guess. Okay.
It's like you just expected him, like he would stare a hole through your soul, like, you like Quaker Oats? what was that oat commercial that he did? Eat these oats and shut up.
That's
if not,
right.
you'll have diabetes.
That's right, see?
Diabetes, see?
Yeah, no, diabetes is no fun for folks that have it, that's for sure.
No, absolutely not. I know plenty of people that have it. I wouldn't wish it on anybody, but I call him Dr. Diabetes just because he was known for the diabetes. I don't even know what he was pawning back then. Do you remember what it was? Was it like a medication or something? Or was it like picking needles? Like, you know, it was something like that.
I don't remember. I do remember that I know that I'm confusing him with Yule Gibbons, who did grape nuts.
Grape nuts.
Yes. Hey, Dagger, welcome back.
Hello, Jagger Spills.
I saw Dagger earlier.
See you later, Papa Tom. Have a good night.
Hey, Papa Tom. Thanks, man. Really good
Everybody
to have you hanging
toys.
here.
If you want a good, if you want a nice UFO replica from Print here.
That's right.
Really well done. And you know what? I'm on tomorrow night with Bill, so maybe I'll get Bill to show you guys his if you guys join us tomorrow night for the meteor shower. So you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Yeah, we should all stream the meteor shower tomorrow.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yeah, say we gotta stream the meteor shower tomorrow, say, because if you don't do it, you're gonna be crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're gonna make those lights in the skies.
Right, you can't do that. You gotta do this right now. If you don't do it right, you're gonna do it wrong. Yeah, say. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Hey, Phil, shoot this guy, will you? Oh.
Want to plug in your copper? Yeah.
Yeah, it's... I feel full of lead, see?
Dude, they were some quick talking movies back then, weren't they?
Yeah.
Guys like, hey, what do you bother me for? Say, you're just a cop. What are you in here bothering me? I pay your wage or something like that. And the cop just like right up, it's like, good, sit down. I'm gonna earn it.
Now you lousy screw.
All the
they call them screws. What's that?
All the ladies talked exactly the same too back then. Like if you ever watch movies like pre-60s, like every woman talked exactly the same.
Oh, that's right. They
that
did.
Betty kind of talk.
Yeah, that exaggerated.
Yeah, like just imagine like Judy Garland, just that kind of talking.
Yeah, but with more emphasis.
Yeah.
On the highs and lows. Yeah, that's the ticket, see? Street meteor shower, yeah, that's the ticket. Tara.
I mean, you go watch a flick there, baby. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You just sit at home all day long going, yeah. Wow.
Just start doing that to random people in public.
I know, huh?
Just walk up and just be like, yeah.
Just walk up and go, yeah, see? What? Like,
see what?
Who was that?
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Who was that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Okay,
then you get us two jerks that are just going, yeah, back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
All right, I'm on the Eagle Nebula now, guys. So.
Yeah.
So. I don't know if we'll be able to. How high up we can look without moving the dome.
What's it green? Or is it just a marking around it?
No, that's a planetary nebula that you're looking at there. It shows as a green symbol.
That's the same. Yeah.
That's green, say. Remember Mr. Green Jeans on the Captain Kangaroo show? How many remember that?
Even Laura got it. It's like this, eh? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Hey, Laura Newbert. Nice to see you.
Yeah, see? Nice to see you. Yeah.
It's like this, see? Wow. Look at this. This is the Pillars of Creation.
Pillars.
1, 2, 3. This really came out beautiful. Pillars of Creation.
Yeah, remember the Hubble image of that? Oh, my Lord.
Yeah. Well, we're going to try and compete with that.
Yeah, away.
I'm going to take a number of these tonight.
Hubble has a little bit of an advantage over us.
Now, just because it's up in orbit, say, who cares? You know, we get the same thing from down here, yeah?
That ain't nothing. 45,000 light years away, see? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see 100,000 lights away with no problem, see?
Yeah, it's all back to yesterday, see?
I saw back so far you weren't even born yet.
Yeah, look at the sky. It's like we're looking back in time, see?
Yeah, the universe is in 3D, see? So every time you look at a star, you're seeing it as it was sometime in the past, see?
Yeah, going to space. There's no north, south, east, west, okay? Yeah, see? Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, see? Yeah. Space is gone. Yeah.
Is this where it starts to deteriorate now? I mean... oh wait, starts to deteriorate?
It started to deteriorate right from the beginning.
It started to deteriorate when we were streaming without streaming.
Yeah, it's just me and Mark talking to nobody going,
Yeah, where's all the people, see? Yeah.
Yeah, see, I forgot to turn on the stream, see, and I didn't know it, and I just talked to all of you like you were there, you know, and I said hello to everybody. Went right down the list and said, hello, see, how are you, man? Good to see you, see.
The funny part did it for like 10 minutes. Like, neither one of us noticed that we weren't even on the air.
Well, you're the one that actually noticed, and it's like,
I know.
I thought I clicked the right thing. See?
Somebody's watching, yeah.
Yeah, and Keith goes, how come no one's writing in the chat? And then we both looked at
how come the video's not on YouTube?
Oh, I did see.
Oh, man.
I did see what looked like video on YouTube, but that might have actually been just yesterday, yeah. Because it was the same.
Yeah, he did the whole entrance and everything, and we were sitting there talking for a good 10 minutes till we realized we weren't even on the air.
I was being nice to everybody.
I know.
Yeah, see, everybody abandoned us.
At least we thought they did. They didn't really, see.
I was like, you were saying hi to everybody. Nobody was saying anything back. That's what the trigger was. I'm like, man, what did you do last night?
Just a little bit of a problem, you know, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What can I tell you? So I'm going through pictures we took.
Batman Nebula.
Nebula? What?
Nebula.
The Batman Nebula?
Yeah. Doesn't it look like from far away? It just looks like kind of like a V-shaped bat.
Nope.
Of course, they pointed at a little dot.
Not even Rolly, see? Not even Rolly.
Yeah.
So, what we're doing now, guys, is we are taking some pictures of the eagle. I'm going to be taking pictures of the eagle, and I'm going to stack these. And we're going to end up with a nice image of the eagle using the very narrow band filter.
See you later, Kathy. Have a good night.
Kathy,
I have to get up earlier in the morning tomorrow. I know how that feels. Sleep and be safe. And we'll see you hopefully tomorrow night on Bill's channel, or maybe even here if Mark decides to do the meteor shower as well.
Yeah.
Have a good night.
You have a good night there, Kathy. Thank you for coming.
Is Neowise going? Laura asked.
Neowise is fainter now and probably not going to be worth the view. I think I'm going to want to try to look where it's supposed to be just to see if we can see it. Not tonight. Because it's not, we won't be able to see it tonight. You know what I'm really glad for? That you don't really talk like that.
To what?
That you don't really talk like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to now.
I'm afraid you will. You'll be like, yeah, see, I talk like this.
Walking in the grocery store tomorrow. I'm like,
Yeah, where's the Cheerios? Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the chocolate milk? You know, the Nestle's quick, see? I want Nestle's quick, see? Or I'm going to have to shoot this place. I'm going to have to put some holes in you, see? I have to aerate you.
2% milk, see? Better be 2%, yeah. Yeah.
You only sound like a cartoon of Jimmy Cagney.
Jimmy Cagney. That's it.
Do you know Jimmy Cagney? He has actually went to my sister's farm because he bought cattle from my brother-in-law.
See?
And he didn't sound like that at all, I'm sure.
Yeah,
They said he was a regular guy and they didn't even know it was him.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, this one is no goo.
There we go. Just like that. There we go.
And that's okay. So now we go back and do another one. This is just to give you guys something later when I stack it together. It should be really interesting. It should show some more details because we're using the narrow band filter, the narrowest band filter, which is over here in there. You can see filter 1 right here. Filter wheel 1.
Filter wheel 1.
Filter 1 in the filter wheel, yes.
Filter 1 in the filter wheel, yes.
Yeah, Laura, he had some kind of horses, and but he also bought cattle, because in his later years he starting what they call a gentleman's farm, and so my brother-in-law had started one such farm, and he ended up. I mean, these guys, they start these farms as a hobby, maybe because of the stress of, trying to maintain a business. Exactly. See?
You gotta get legit, see?
Yeah, we're legit now, coppers. So leave us alone.
Yeah, legit with the horses, coppers.
Exactly.
Doing everything by the books.
All right, we'll do another one of these.
Strip club.
That's really beautiful. And you know what's funny? I see here, in looking at the eagle here, normally you see this, and you don't really see a whole lot down here. But we're getting this secondary beautiful ridging down here, the stuff that's in here that is just usually invisible. And that's because of the narrowband filter. So I'm really looking forward to working this image. I guess I'm not going to bed tonight. Hey, Tron Man, how's it going?
Yeah, Tron Man.
Yeah, he hasn't been here for a while.
See, look, even Trish is going to talk like that tomorrow. You're going to have a bunch of people walking. People are going to think there's some kind of virus.
Yeah, that's right.
Talking like Cagney in different states.
Is that COVID? Yes, it's the COVID Cagney. Oh no. Oh dear.
You got the virus, see?
Oh no. What are we gonna do? Oh, Peter. Peter, what are we gonna do?
Nothing to worry about, Mort. Remember Mort in what is it? That's Family Guy, right?
Mark's the paper boy.
No, Mort's the pharmacy guy.
Oh, I thought you said Mark.
No, Mort.
Mark's still the paper boy.
No, I'm not, Dad.
I can't do Chris very well. Chris, you're the paper boy.
Giggity.
Yeah, see? Give me a mocha chocolate, see? Yeah.
Peter, get your son out of my yard. Yep.
Oh.
Yeah, well, Family Guy.
This is the part of astronomy that we like to call, it's a pretty scientific name if you all can pronounce it. It's called stacking the crap out of it.
Oh yeah, well that's what this is gonna do. And you know what? To those that are into astronomy and know about this in the chat, I get asked a lot why I don't use programs to actually stack these dynamically while we're taking the picture. And it's only because it takes extra time, for one thing, but secondly, and most importantly, it's because our camera is not supported by that particular software, which is called SharpCap. I love the software. I think it does wonders, but it isn't supported by our camera's not supported, so we can't do it. We just need a camera that can run on what's called the ASCOM standard, ASCOM, and that's what we use, the ASCOM standard. And I do know of a driver for our camera in the ASCOM standard, and when I tried it, it nearly blew up my machine. So I figured, I'll wait. What, guys? I'll just wait over here. Let's wait over here. I'll wait over there. Yeah. So it really wasn't that good. So I'm hoping they'll have improved it.
You're not a real astronomer till you catch your house on fire.
Okay, I'm not sure where that came from.
Well, your computer blew up.
Oh yeah, that's happened before.
Yeah.
But you know the thing about me. When I was a kid, I was into all manner of chemistry and things like that. I made hydrogen balloons as a kid and blew them up in the empty lot next to my house, and it rattled windows for a quarter mile around.
Mark was the Dennis the Menace of his neighborhood.
Oh no! See, Dennis the Menace did things to other people. I just stayed to myself. I made UFOs that float above the town, and the police would get called. Oh, look, an unknown
Set
object.
yard on fire
I did, actually.
more than once.
Okay, I'm wondering what we're seeing here.
Yeah.
Something's not right here. See that vignetting?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
It's a UFO.
No, I think it's Duo. I have the Duo system on there, but it looks like it's overwhelmed. No, Laura, this is still Connecticut, but I was supposed to go out Saturday to Arizona. I get sick of saying I was supposed to go. I've postponed it 4 times so far because of COVID. And hey, Starseed. And so this is the Connecticut Observatory. The Arizona Observatory's views are going to be a darn sight better. And so the Connecticut Observatory, we're going to convert into a spectroscopic telescope, so it's going to be able to look at the spectra. It'll still do the views like this, but we're also going to have it doing spectra, so that we can actually look at the compositions of how stars are made and how nebulae are composed and so forth. It's really a very cool process. So we'll be doing that too. Yeah, see that? That's weird. That's like, I have to go check because I think maybe I'm getting
Got a hair dryer?
yeah, well, I have a dew system on there, and it might be getting overwhelmed if it has a breeze of moist air coming in. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to go out and look at it. Can you hang on to folks for a while I go do that?
Yeah.
All right, Say. I'll be right back, Say.
See? Go wipe the dew. Yeah.
Don't you take a piece of my sandwich, you. I'll be right back.
Keep moving, Kappa.
I heard you, Say.
What time is it? Holy moly, it's midnight already.
Yeah.
Midnight with piano music. This is like a little jazz bar. Have a little cup of whiskey on the rocks.
Waiting for your little pretty dame, see? Yeah.
This is the kind of bar where the cops drink after thinking about today's cases.
Smoking a beer. Smoking a drink. Down Jazzy Street. Anybody remember the Naked Gun movies? How great were they? Supposedly Neil's one of the best. The best at deadpan comedy.
Enough of the jokes, eh?
Yeah. We were just in here clubbing.
So there's haze and clouds down here, which is what that was caused by. So I am going to take us to one more object that is gonna be here for us. We'll check out Mars, and then we're gonna check out something else right next to Mars. The moon's up.
Yeah, Phobos, eh? Yeah.
Yeah, we can see the Martian moons, Phobos and Deimos. It's really cool. You know, it's really cool to see those. So let's see now. Oh, I should actually bring up. Yeah, the telescope is heading here. Let's just bring this up so you can see. No, not that. Not that. There we go.
This music is plowing my ears right now.
What's it doing?
Wow, it's plowing my ears.
Really? Is it plowing them as in destroying them?
It's very, very loud.
Nonsense. Say.
It might be my end, but
I think it's your end.
it's just playing one note.
Well, it's, you know.
It's just like wow, wow, wow.
All right. You like it? You don't like it?
Yeah.
All right, now you got a new one.
Oh, great. Here we go. There comes the mountain.
This is lunar levitation.
The Hall of the Mountain King.
All right. So let's just zip on over here. This is Mars here. So let's actually bring Mars back in here more.
Mars.
Not Mars.
There's our future stop.
That's right.
An explanation of exploration.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
These poor people have to put up with us. I'm going to drop us down to a very low ISO because we're going to need that anyway when we go to the moon. Okay, and then I'm going to try and... Wait, that doesn't look like Mars to me. Is that the star? No.
Yeah.
No, that's Mars. Okay. That's Mars. It's just in here, it's small. Okay, we're going to go to 50.
That's going to be the good thing about streaming early AM this week is we'll be able to get Mars pretty good too.
You will. Okay, so... And... okay, just have to focus. Okay, now you'll notice that it doesn't look round. We actually can see, even though Mars is a little further out, we can actually see that Mars can kind of make a semi-phase to us. And that's what we're actually seeing with Mars right now. If you want to see it up close, then we can just go in and you can see what the stellarium shows you a very good view of what Mars is supposed to look like. And if I can just get rid of this, then you'll see it. So if we zoom in, okay, and we'll even see where Phobos and Deimos are supposed to be. So there we go. And if you look at the shape of Mars, you'll see it does have this little, you can see a shadow, okay? And right now it's relatively featureless. But Phobos is here and Deimos is going to be farther out. There it is. Okay, so here's Deimos. So Phobos and Deimos are on the same side, okay? There they are. So let's go see those. we don't see them here, do we? Well, we have to first take a picture that's going to allow us to see them.
Yeah.
So, right. So we're going to go and do a very overexposed shot. We're going to go, say, we'll try 15 seconds and see if that'll show us Phobos and Deimos. We are doing this through the filter, so we may not be able to see it. Hey, Creamers, how you doing? Let's see what we got here. Yeah, it's like last time when we did it last night. I couldn't see it until I actually took a longer exposure. Actually, I had to go up to like I think 400. We can try that. I'll do 640. And we'll try that for 15 seconds. 5:06 a.m. Pete. Wow. Pete's overseas in the UK.
5 hours ahead. What is that?
That's a conical UFO by Mars. No, it's actually just a lens flare, probably from the moon, which is just out of the view.
Did you say it was aliens?
And that's what gets published.
Just say it's aliens. Let's see how many places publish it tomorrow.
Well, I gotta make my hair go wild first and say, it's aliens.
Yeah, it's aliens, see? And there's clouds on the moon, see? Yeah.
Right. And that green is grass. Okay. With this filter, it's gonna be kind of hard, so I'm gonna change the filter to the filter number 2, and that will give us a little bit more light. And now let's try that.
Hello, Dee Dee.
DDB is here. Hey, Dee. Thank you so much for coming, man. I missed you. We looked for you a long time.
Yeah, DDB, see? Yeah.
Yeah, DDB's here. Yeah, you know who DDB is, don't you? Wow, look at that. That's really cool.
Even with that flare.
That's really cool, yeah. Wow. That's really amazing. Definitely a flare. Not from Mars.
Aliens.
Yes, it's aliens.
Oh my.
No, actually, what I gotta do first is I would like to. I'm gonna head in that direction. And you'll notice this flare is getting brighter. Because the moon is over here, so let's see how close I am to the moon.
Sausage.
Well, that's what Keith says when he doesn't have anything else to say.
Sorry.
Yeah, sausage, see? Yeah.
All right, let's see. Let's go this way. And we'll do this guy. Now, let's go toward the east.
Mark said it was a lens flare, but I think we all know it's aliens.
Oh, man, be nice. It was a lens artifact, yes. Because even though the telescope's looking at Mars, the light of the moon is also coming in.
Aliens.
We should see it getting brighter right now. Let's see here. Oops, went the wrong way. How did I do that?
There you go.
Yeah, guess what? Mr. Mooney is coming. Remember Mr. Mooney? Mrs. Carmichael? And what show was that?
Before my time.
Maybe so. All right. So, okay, one thing I'm going to do is we're going to actually go to white light here. Okay. So we're going to drop back to 1. Okay, and you can actually see how this the filters are turning now when you have the moon in there. There goes the wheel. Okay.
Yeah, it's like one of those old Fisher Price picture lookers.
You mean the Viewmaster?
Yeah, is that what it's called?
GAF?
Nerd.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the 3D stuff. That was pretty cool. I always wanted to make those photographs. And then I realized later how to do it. And I was like, ooh, neat. So we're going to go down to 50 ISO here. Look, there's a star.
Aliens.
No, there's a star right there. See it?
Yeah, aliens. Cool.
Yeah, right there. Little star. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Not impressed. Not impressed.
Got a little twinkle, see? Yeah.
And here is the other side. The side that was lit when the moon was visible after sunset.
You should zoom in to the dark side and then take like a little longer exposure and light it up a little bit.
Well, I can actually take a photo. I'll do it at 50 ISO. Oops, went the wrong way. Okay. All right, and now what I can do is I could move us a little more toward the west.
Like, what if you did this and all of a sudden we see like a big triangle over the moon on the dark side? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes.
We'd be like, oh, you know how fast I would be on this phone with Paul saying, dude, scope out now, do it.
Immediately.
Confirmation.
Yeah.
We need confirmation. Hurry up.
Immediately, if not sooner. Okay, what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to go into focus mode here. Because I think we want to make sure that this is focused.
Yeah, space herpes, see? Yeah.
What?
I don't know. Tron said it, not me. Yell at him.
Tron. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to focus here. Then you can see all of the heat rising in the atmosphere. It's really quite unsteady.
You know what's crazy, DD, that you say that? Like, that would be the one thing that would not surprise me yet in 2020.
What's that?
Just huge UFO flying over, captured by thousands of people or something. That would just set 2020 off.
That'd be a good start.
It'd be a good cap on the year. If it wasn't for the COVID or the meth gators.
Meth gators?
Yeah. It turns out some people in Florida, of course, were flushing meth down our toilets, and then alligators were getting into it, and next thing you know, we have killer meth gators. So, hey,
No,
why
sir.
not? 2020, am I right?
Is that true?
Yeah.
Outrageous. 1/10 of a second on the moon. There we go. That's really pretty. Wowie. This is Copernicus crater right here.
Copernicus.
Yeah, Copernicus. Yes, Copernicus. There's Plato crater right there. And you can see over here in the washed out area, this is Aristarchus and Herodotus next to it, which is kind of washed out. And there's a sinewy rill that goes back there called the Cobra Head. Yeah. See, this is white light photo. So white light photos are not as good, and I'm trying to, as I look at this, I'm thinking, well, the moon is, this is pretty good for a moon. It's almost, 20 degrees above the horizon. That's not bad. But it's quite a bit in the murk. And we look at it live, okay, and especially when we do this, okay, and let me just do this first, okay. So now we're looking at that. You can see the way this is dancing around over here. This dancing around that you see is really all the turbulent air cells between us and the moon. It's really quite a problem.
We should mention that space is not water, but you are looking through water in the form of humidity.
That's correct. Actually, more likely through water molecules suspended in air in the atmosphere. That's right. Yep. Ronald, how would you know about what meds you can flush down your toilet or not?
Yeah, Ronald.
What's going on over there, see? That little tiny town of Jeffers, Wyoming. No, Jeffers, Minnesota. It's postage stamp. You live in a postage stamp, see?
Yeah. Now we know what you do with your meth around here, huh, Mr. Jeffers?
Tara says this is fritty.
It is definitely fritty.
Yeah. I'm going to, let's try that other photo we talked about earlier. Yeah, it's not going to, I don't think it's going to work too well, but let's try it. 8 seconds. I'm going to see when we look over here if we can see anything. Yeah, we're just getting the banding that occurs sometimes. We can see some rough, those bands are not part of it. Okay. Not working, see? Not a good thing.
Well, A for effort.
Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say you're right.
Right. What a night. What a night. How long we been on? Let's see.
It only feels like a couple hours, but how long is it?
I don't know. You got a minus 10 minutes off of there. So it says 2 hours on there, and I can't see your OBS to know exactly how long it was. It's 2 hours on YouTube.
Well, you can see the OBS, and unfortunately, OBS doesn't show that.
Yes, it does at the very bottom.
I'm looking at the very bottom.
It says right there, it says stream time on the bottom right.
It doesn't say that.
Holy moly.
Look at it.
I can't, I'm not seeing the whole bottom. Your whole bottom's cut off. What's the deal?
I'm sharing the whole screen. You're just not looking at it all.
No, what I'm saying is it's cut off in your OBS. Like, you should have all that there. Like, it should tell you drop frames. It should tell you how long you've been live. Like, why don't you have that bar on the bottom?
Maybe I have to say, look at the status bar. Maybe I don't have a status bar showing.
That's possible. I mean, there's a thing called status bar.
Hey, there it is.
There we go. See? Told you.
Yeah, see?
I knew that was coming.
Now where'd it go? Now you took it off screen, so I can't see it.
No, I didn't.
I don't see that part of your screen, Mr. D'Antonio.
No, it's right there. You can't miss it.
Well, what's it say?
Drop frames 0.
Very good.
And we've been going for 2 hours, 33 minutes, and 29, 30, 31, 32, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. And we have very healthy stream health here. This is good.
Very healthy.
But you know what? We're looking at the moon to see if there's anything that might be going by the moon. It's awesome to see a satellite pass over the front of the moon.
Satellites over the moon. Why Mark tries not to yawn in front of all his subscribers.
Oh, I'm not ashamed of yawning. It happens.
Oh, I know. It's about that time. 12:30.
Is it really?
Long days. I've been getting up at like 6:30 in the morning for some reason. But I do get a lot of stuff done in the day, though.
What in the heck's wrong with you, boy?
I find myself more productive early in the morning. Like from 5 a.m. to like 7 a.m. I'm like really productive.
Oh.
Why?
Is that true?
It is. I just find it to be a very productive part of the day.
All right,
But,
well,
you know, I don't know. Maybe I found my what do they call that? Your go time. Like everybody has a 2 to 3 hour window during the day that's their go time.
Sure.
For some reason they get a lot of stuff done, and then for everybody it's different.
My go time is from about 4 o'clock to about midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is really bad go time. Look at as the moon is rising, it's actually getting clearer and clearer. That's pretty nice. Here's the Apollo 15 landing site right there.
Yeah.
Right here.
There's where Bigfoot lives.
Yes, but it's Bigfoot's cousin that's here.
We call him Sam Squanch.
No, in deference to your candy, it's called Star Squatch.
Star Squatch. That reminds me.
Yeah, Dee, I'm not a morning person either. What's it remind you?
Yeah, usually not either, but for some reason that 2 hours is just a time I get a lot of stuff done, and then I get tired again. I can like if I got up at like 4:30, and then by 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock, I can get a whole bunch of stuff done, and then I can always go back to bed at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, no problem. But for some reason that little area between there, man, I'm very productive. Get a lot of stuff, whether it be outside, inside, paperwork, video, doesn't matter.
Okay.
So what I did with the WWE video editing, I would usually try to do it at that time in the morning.
Okay. You don't do it anymore because you gave it up.
Well, it was just becoming a hassle. I mean, it paid pretty good, for contract work, but
So this is cool. I like looking at the Moony in this way.
man. Yeah, I know, D. Maybe I'm transitioning to an old person. But you know what? It does come with what do you call that? A discount. And it comes with brunch. I think I have to start doing. And the early bird special.
Last I checked, I was significantly older than you, Keith, and I don't...
Well, yeah, I mean, you're old as dirt, but... What's your social security number? Like 4?
3. No, it's more than that.
Driver's license come on a scroll, huh?
Yeah. Papyrus.
What's this? It's written on the back of a dead sheepskin, huh? Yeah.
No, my driver's license are these 2 rocks here that are stacked on top of each other. And there's a scrawled piece, that the vertical line that's scrawled on 2 of them, which says I'm legal. Wow.
Has a stick figure cat.
Yeah.
That's a mode of transportation.
That's right. Like a Flintstones vehicle.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if cave people used to drive around on cheetahs. You could be upper class if you had a cheetah, and the slow people just had to use donkeys. That was their their little Chevette.
Yeah.
But the Lamborghinis were the cheetahs, so you had to be higher class caveman to ride a cheetah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that.
And the southern guys that the big trucks, they're all the ones that had elephants. Big truck, if you were a truck driver back in caveman times, you had a woolly mammoth.
Oh. Okay, that actually almost makes sense.
Oh, and a motorcycle was an ostrich.
Really?
Yeah, see, get on my ostrich, see? Yeah.
Well, were the bulldozers crocodiles?
Mm-mm. Oh, now think, what pushes dirt? That's big and strong and pushes dirt.
Well, hippopotamus? No.
There you go, hippopotamuses.
Rhinos.
Yeah.
Rhinos were the what would chop stuff out of the ground like an excavator? What would have been the excavator?
Ooh, what's those birds that stick their head in the ground?
Oh yeah. Actually, I think that was the word in the Flintstones was that.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Turtles were like skateboards. The slow mode of transportation, but
That's right.
it got you there.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and those people that would take their showers in the morning and not even care that the bird is staring at them, while they're taking their shower.
Yeah. It's like, this bird is in my window providing me with water. Eyes up here, sir.
Hey, Carl, how you doing? Cool.
In the Flintstones, wasn't like a big pterodactyl like their airplane?
There was something with a pterodactyl. What was it?
I know they had like a loudmouth bird as a work whistle.
That's right. And he'd squeeze it.
And Dino needed Ritalin.
Yeah, that's right.
Anger problem.
Yeah. Hey, Barn.
Hey, Fred.
Hey, Fred.
Come on, Bon.
Bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. That was Bam Bam. Remember Pebbles and Bam Bam?
Yeah, kid had a major
anger problem.
major anger issues.
Yeah. Well, I'm liking our moon tonight. It looks pretty. Yeah, we're getting some haze.
Yeah.
Erg.
The nighttime haze is moving in.
Yeah, I think it's probably time to call it,
Remember Balky Bartakamus?
I do not.
Really? You don't remember that show back in the day?
No. What day? Was there day back then? Was the sun working at that time?
A late 80s TV show. What was it? I think it was like was it Perfect Strangers maybe? I think so.
I don't know.
A guy's like cousin or something from another country came to live with him in like New York or Chicago or something like that.
Oh yeah, Balky.
Balky, yeah, see?
No, I get it. I remember that, yeah. Cousin. Hello, cousin. Remember?
Now we do the dance of joy.
Remember, that was him.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about. See, you knew what I was talking about.
I did, but, I can't remember that.
Balky Bartakamus.
Well, the way you said it, I didn't know.
The only reason I thought of that is because I seen Brainius Balky in the chat. Made me think of that.
Oh, yeah, there he is, Brainius Balky. Hey. And he says Perfect Strangers, LOL.
Yep.
Wow. Well, guys, you know what?
Nano.
Oh, nano, man. Whoa, hey, look out.
Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.tv.
Oh, you think I'm so smart. Okay. Nice try. Ugh. And there we go. That's when we know it's time to go. Well, there's that last view of the moon.
Is that dirt on your scope?
Where?
Oh, no, that was a fly on my screen. What the heck? I was like, what is that spot on the moon?
Actually, I had a hell of a spot on the sensor, and I couldn't tell what it was, but this big just schmutz down here. I went outside and I looked at the sensor and I was like, oh,
What?
It's just some schmutz on the front of the infrared blocking filter in the camera.
Yeah. You smudged my telescope, see? Yeah. We put the smudge down.
That's it. And it's the ostrich that put its head in the ground. And Laura's right.
That's what it was, an ostrich. Yep.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Well, you guys, Keith and I are going to head out of here because Keith has become unruly, and now he has to take some Ritalin and go to bed.
Yeah, see? Yeah.
Nah, it's okay. But listen, I want to thank you guys for coming out. We had a great time with you. I really appreciated that you came out to join us, even though Keith was with us, because we do know.
You have to ruin your streams.
Oh yeah, as if you ruin them. I really have a good time when you're out here. You're actually you're a marvelous compatriot.
Marvelous. Yeah, see? Yeah.
Yes.
One of a kind. Yeah.
That's right. So are viruses. Anyway, you folks, you have a good night, and we will see you next time around. And if it's clear tomorrow, we'll be here again.
Just call me COVID.
You did hear about the lady that named her child COVID.
Yeah, well, at least it's not the herpes.
You know, I can't.
And he's done.
I'm done. This is what happens. My red lights have gone out because, you know, it's my 12:30 alarm. All the lights go off. They fade.
But everybody, have a good night. I'm going to go enjoy my shiny honey. And we are going to be off the air.
Oh, we're talking butthole pressure washers again. Why are you doing this?
If you have a chance to get a shiny honey.
It's the moon. It's the moon.
It's the moon. Yes, you're washing the moon.
Yes. That's right.
You're washing the moon.
Your moon.
Shiny honey.
Yeah. That
cheat.
is just silly stuff.
Yeah, so you almost did it.
I said
You
silly
almost
as, you know, silly as other stuff.
Yep, okay.
It's silly as other stuff. You
Uh-huh.
hear what you want to hear.
Self-censoring. You silly
I said silly as, and I didn't finish the sentence.
Yeah. Cool.
I said that to my mother once when I was a kid. What did you say? I called you an ads. What? An ad, you know, the tool that you scrape dirt with.
You know those little things that you take for gas? You're such a roll ads, Mom.
Oh yeah, I got swatted anyway. She would come whipping her hand across. I'd see those fingers, and the last thing I saw was.
You know what's crazy though? Moms back then could find the most interesting weapons. Like I've never seen like a wood spoon be a weapon before, but man, oh man.
Oh, the Italians in our neighborhood, they'd take off their shoes.
Yes, or beat you with a flip flop.
Oh, they take their shoes off, and you're running away already. Okay, and they somehow have time to throw the first shoe, hit you right in the back of the head, get the second shoe off their left foot, and throw it lefty, and hit the other guy off the back of his head.
What happened to you, Mark? Oh, I got taken out by a penny loafer.
Yeah, no, Mrs. Frisella, she hit me in the back of the head again. Yeah, I know. What did you do this time? I was just jumping on the furniture.
Like Italians were known for shoes, and like Puerto Rican moms were known for like anything around them. Like you could have a tissue box flying at you. You could have whatever was in
ashtray, glass. Remember the glass ashtrays?
Mm-hmm.
Full or not, that thing would come whipping at you.
Yeah, they were unbreakable, man.
I know.
And they were pretty. They were like all designs and like glass and see-through, but man, you couldn't break them things if you tried.
No, you couldn't. But usually, and I got in the most trouble when my mother had all these antiques in the house, and she had these glass globes that were part of these antique lamps. Okay, and these glass globes were wonderful. Until I hit one with a yo-yo, and it just shattered in place, and I was like, "Oh!" So I actually went up and I got this cement that was a household cement. It was some called Duco cement at the time, D-U-C-O. And I took this Duco cement and I glued the thing painstakingly back together.
Nobody will notice.
And she didn't. It was actually perfect because I did such a good job. It was sort of like early model making, guys, you know, and that's kind of what my business is.
Yeah,
so,
that's how I used to cover his tracks.
Yeah, and then next thing you know, I had to do the dishes one night, and I saw the shade get put on the little counter. Could you wash that too, please? Like, oh no. I'm thinking to myself, oh gosh, I hope that stuff's not water soluble.
Right.
Oh man. And I left it. I didn't do it. And I put it back on the lamp.
What's next, did you?
I put it back on the lamp. And then she said, I thought you washed this. And she picked it up and walked over to the sink. And you know how it's like that slow motion. No. You're saying no. And it's all moving in slow motion.
Soundtrack's nothing but your heartbeat.
shit. And next thing you know, the hot water hits it. And then they hear, tsh, and it just falls apart in the sink. I was like, oh, what'd you do, Ma?
Oh no! How could you do that, Mother?
And she looks,
And then here comes the flip flop.
She looks. She was Irish and Native American. No, she just punched her, slapped. Okay, I'm not
She
kidding.
done decked it with a Tyson.
Oh, I got more hits from those arthritic hands than you can imagine. And knobby arthritic fingers are just painful when they're poking you in the eye or when they're hitting you in the neck or they're hitting you on top of the head.
It's like some Mortal Kombat stuff.
Yes.
This is D'Antonio wins.
Yeah. And
Fatality.
okay. And so this shade falls apart in the sink, and she examines it closely and sees the Duco cement. She goes,
Did you break this?
I went, no. What am I going to say? Well, yes, I did. No. And she goes, yes, you did, you rotten kid. And that is when the shoes came off. Okay, that's when anything nearby was made into an airborne projectile. And I ran, and I just felt stuff hitting me in the back of the head. Okay, like, and some of them really hurt too. So I think that some of them had points on them. I don't know what she was throwing.
You see a cutting board come flying past.
not that bad. So then my sister.
Run in, you see a kitchen table come flying over.
Well, no, the leg though. The leg in one case actually.
Oh my lord! You went Hulk on you and just ripped the leg off the table. And
Well, no, it was already broken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my sister got her mad. So,
Bro, your mom's the Hulk.
yeah, man. Just don't get her mad. So, anyway, my older sister brought her boyfriend at the time, who became my brother-in-law in later years, over to the house. First time he ever met her, and he used to smoke a pipe, and he had this beautiful ivory stem pipe. It was very expensive. Okay, and he was wearing it, using it rather to really be impressive to my parents. But me, down on the floor, he had these open-toed sandals on.
Oh boy.
I look at these big hairy toes, and I'm thinking, I don't like these things.
It's the Sam Squares.
So I took this old antique lock that she had, and then she had an antique iron, made big iron. Okay.
Yeah, like the old cast iron.
Yes, the cast iron, and I of course we couldn't heat it up, or I certainly would have. But I took the locks and I smashed it down right on his big toe, and I took the iron and I went kaboom right down his whole foot, and he got so mad. He bit the stem off of his $1,000 pipe. Back then it was a huge expense. He bit the stem off. He goes, this is the first time he's at the house now meeting my parents, and they're both sitting there going, oh, what a nice man. And then he bites the stem off, looks at me and goes, you little shit. And he starts, oh, sorry. Too bad. And he starts running after me all over the house. And I run like heck, but it probably didn't help that I was laughing so loud because it made it even worse, So in later years, I had to go to work, get a job when I was 16. And my now brother-in-law offered me a job. He said, you can come work in the factory if you like. And I said, wow, thank you, Michael. That's very nice. And I worked in the factory. I was doing some really interesting stuff, first. And when August rolled around, he said, okay, see that little hole 20 feet up? Yeah, that's 20 feet up at the ceiling. He goes, yeah. Okay, you got to get a ladder. You're climbing up there, and you're going to paint the air conditioners on the roof. What? You're going to paint the air conditioners on the roof. Here's the paint. It was this ugly green called seafoam green, right? And I had to walk up this big, tall, rickety ladder that was 20 feet tall, extension ladder, open the roof panel, and now, of course, it was bright sun outside, and you couldn't see, you had to let your eyes adjust. So I went out, and the gravel on the top of the roof was a white gravel. I painted the air conditioning units. And I really did a good job. I come back over to the hole, and I look down in the hole. I see nothing. It's pitch black. It's a black hole. And I'm like, uh-oh, how am I ever going to get down there? And so I lay down and I look into the hole, and I still can't see anything. Now I could see the top of the ladder, just the top arms of the ladder. I couldn't see any of the rungs. So I had to sit on the edge of the hole knowing that this was a 20-foot drop to a concrete floor. And I had to make my way down that ladder.
I can see my eyes weren't made for this.
No, they were not. And I remember being panicky because I slipped a couple times. And I was like, whoa! And I felt myself falling, and I held on. And I managed to end up getting on the ladder. And as my vision didn't come back until I was literally half to 3/4 of the way down the ladder. And when I got to the floor, I still couldn't see all the way because I'd been up there for like 4 or 5 hours, and doing this. And so it was really, really bad. So I kind of got mad at my brother-in-law for doing that to me. I said, that wasn't good. What are you trying to do to me? I couldn't see. Oh, you deserve it, you little beep, So next thing you know, he opens this clean room in the factory, and I wasn't there for this, but he saw a bowl of water, and he was lighting his pipe, and he lit it with a match, and he had a mustache and no beard, but he had hair, facial hair, and a mustache, and not a handlebar mustache, and he threw the match in the water, which was actually highly flammable alcohol.
Jeez.
And it went woof, woof, and it burned all the hair off one side of his face, including the mustache.
Off, huh?
So from one side, he looked like a sunburned guy, and on the other side, he was a hairy Sasquatch again.
Yeah, maybe he should just put down the pipe. It seemed to make that
he actually did quit soon after.
Did he?
Yeah, but throwing that match in there to put out was hilarious. And when I heard the story, I laughed so hard I felt bad for laughing.
Poor guy burned his pork chops off.
Yeah, no, they're called mutton chops. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, it's that time. It was that time earlier.
Time is over.
I'm usually the guy that says, just one more, but there really is no one more because the moon's out now and it's actually pretty hazy. You can see haze in this image. The last photo I just took just to test it, you can see that the moon has lost some clarity. We had much better clarity earlier, and now we don't have as much clarity. So we're actually losing the night. But hey, I want to thank you guys again. So I will talk to you guys another time, probably on the next clear night. So make sure you come back. Make sure you give me a couple of thumbs up there for Keith and I on the stream. And we will be back next time, maybe with Daryl and Amanda, who are the real co-hosts and not people that just come on here to disrupt the stream.
I just said shiny hiney. I don't know what you're talking about.
I said worse, actually, so my fault.
Yeah.
Guys.
Mouth, Billy.
Yep. I just noticed that when my lights are off, I don't have that weird stuff going on. I can actually do... Okay, I'm going to remember this.
Yeah.
Because when the lights of the monitor are the only thing illuminating me, and I don't have the lights behind me, I don't get this cutoff stuff.
Yeah, very little.
Yeah. I think I know why, too. I just figured it out. It has nothing to do with the lights overhead. It has to do with the light behind me illuminating other things that can get mistaken for a foreground object. Yeah. Uh-oh. Carol, come on. All right. So there's this little bad boy. Yeah. Yes, I've done some bratty things as a kid. Yes, I did light my yard on fire because I wanted to play with my snorkel fire truck from Tonka. And then the little snorkel, squirting water was just not enough when it really caught in the wind. So
yeah, that's what firefighters call a brush fire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then that's when I actually took the hose off the snorkel truck and started spraying with a hose. And when that didn't work, I was stomping it with my feet and burning the bottoms of my sneakers. And my little cute socks I was wearing and my shorts. Yeah. Then I did another thing too. Remember, I wanted to drill with water. So I turned the hose on really high with one of those nozzles. I started pushing it down into the ground, and it went down and down and down and down. It went so far. It had to go down probably like, I mean, it was probably curling underground and stuff. But it went down so far into the ground that I didn't have any more hose to send down because it was already taut now. And so I went and turned the water off, which is a mistake. And then I went to play, which I shouldn't have done. I should have got the darn hose out of the ground. Because when I went to pull it out of the ground, it was cemented in there like you couldn't believe. So I turned the water on, and now it's leaking back up at the faucet at the house because it's already cemented in the ground now, and it's just backing up and going out any opening it can. So my father comes home, and he's going to use the water because he wants to fill the pool some more. And he sees the hose disappearing into the ground, and it's taut. It's elevated off the ground all the way to the house, a good 60 feet away. And of course he comes in and yells for me immediately, like, hey, how do you know it was me? Well,
Oh, I don't know.
good
Was
guess.
my lawn on fire? Or...
Good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so he made me go out and take a shovel and dig the hose out. And it was actually, I was impressed with how deep it went. Because when I got to 4.5 feet, I was still no end in sight. All right, it was actually had gone down, straight down, quite a distance. And I started thinking, hey, this is pretty successful. This is a cool idea. I'm going to try this again. But this time, I'll leave the water on so I can get it out. So I got the hose out. He yelled at me, and I said, okay, I've done my penance. Then he went to work again the next day, and I said, I'm going to try this again. I'll try it a new way now. And so that's what I did. I kept the water on now, and I pushed it down. And I don't know what happened. I don't know how it happened. I just know that it did happen. The water set up some kind of pressure that made it even harder for the hose to come out. And of course, I went down a whole different hole where I just dug out. I went down into the lawn. And I couldn't get the hose out again. But now I'm on the lawn instead of a little dirt pile. And now I had to deal with my father when he came home again. I tried to say that my neighbor did it, but it didn't fly. Yeah. So enough of the stories. I know you guys want to go to bed or we want to get out of here. But I will talk to you tomorrow. And with any luck, we'll stream again tomorrow. When we're here long enough to see the moon come up after the full moon, especially when it's in like last quarter almost, then you know it's time to put on the wacky music and go to bed.
Go to bed.
All right, folks, have a good night, and I shall talk to you again soon. Say good night, Keith.
Good night, Keith.
Exactly. All right. So long, folks. Talk to you again. And then there's Keith signing off with his very good sign off. He's always, well, you know, he's always made the butt of jokes, so I figured might as well use
ShinyHockey.com.
Good night, all.